topics, whether conscious or cosmic. It's never nonsense, mega levels are microscopic. It's a Killer Priest project, AD control the rocket. Before we land the plane, many things we engage and explain. The unexplained, without mask. Welcome to the Killer Priest podcast. Killer Priest podcast. Always on here. Lighten it up, put it down, and I got my amethyst on. Welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode of Killer Priest podcast. I'm your host, Killer Priest. On the rocket, wheels and stills, none other than A Dizzle. Make sure you know AD. And by my side, my co-host.
Here we are.
What's good?
Yeah, Sewell in the building.
Yeah.
Now, let me just set off. Let me say this. I was supposed to be waiting on Kris, Ransom. He on his way. He on his way here. And are we on? Okay. So he on his way here, but on his way, as he on his way here, we all know that we in the retrograde again. Mm-hmm. So everything's a little bit off. Mercury is spinning backwards, and for a lot of people, this is our first time, learning about these things.
Yeah, the retrograde.
Yeah, so the retrograde is like, AD, explain the retrograde.
Yeah, so basically what's happening with Mercury retrograde is that Mercury is a planet of communication.
Right.
And 3 times a year, perceivably, it looks like it's going backwards. And for us, it does go backwards, so it messes up all the communication on the planet. So computer breakdowns, you're talking about a lot of traffic. You've got your phones ain't going to be working right, misunderstandings, miscommunications. You're going to have fights. You're going to have internal things going on in the head because Mercury perceivably is going backwards. So astrologically, all communication is off. And y'all can Google this and check it out and see how, what's really going on with all that. But that's Mercury retrograde. All the planets kind of go retrograde at one point. Last year, 5 planets went retrograde. But as of right now, we got Mercury going retrograde. So, communication's going to be off, but it's also, because it's retro, it means to redo things. So you're going to find yourself, reorganizing, redoing, rethinking, restructuring, redoing a lot of stuff because this is time to go back.
Is this astrology?
This is astrology. Now, another thing is...
Astronomy. It's all, I see you
astrology.
Yeah.
You might
I'm
also...
more of an astronomer.
You also might find your exes hitting you up.
My exes?
Your exes, because don't forget, this is repeating.
Oh, yeah?
Retrograde is all about so you're going to get...
X and
exes coming back.
Maybe my ex will hit me up tonight.
They're going to be hitting you up. They just... You know what I mean? It's common. It's common for exes to
Gina
come back.
Fletcher's in the building.
That's Mercury retrograde.
That's crazy. Yo, good looking AD on that.
Yeah.
Now, look, already, crazy thing happened. We're waiting on Kris to come through. I wanted to start a little bit earlier, but we're waiting on him. And already, tragedy just happened. Tell him, AD, first retrograde. Well, it's been going on for a little while, but what's the first crazy thing happened?
Yeah, we were setting up, and then this light fell and knocked over the TV, and the TV knocked over the pot, and then there's a crack in the TV, in the crack in the pot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crack in the pot.
Crack
like
in
Jack
the
in the
pot.
Box. Yeah, so the crack is in the pot. It's Black History Month. I wonder if they set that up. It's a retrograde on Black History Month.
They so everything can spin off course, so we won't be wanting to get in tune with the great inventors, the great African inventors of the world. They don't want us to get in tune with that. That's what the retrograde is all about.
Yeah. And then they're going to have it on. No, well, they put, I don't know what, it's Black History Month every month.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
People like me and you, we study all the time. I'm always researching.
Yeah, it's like, it's Black History
Great
Month.
Africans.
That's right. It's Black History Month all the time. Mm-hmm. And it's important for us to get in tune with great inventors and there was a lot of contribute that these cats put into it. Shout out to the chat room. Shout out to y'all. So y'all coming in. I saw Gina Fletcher's in the building. Jody's in the building. Assassinated Pot, Tupac. Yeah, man. It's been going crazy all day. Kris Ransom, he just came. So AD went to go get him. So it's
He's here.
Yeah, he's here.
Okay.
He's
Yeah,
here. So
I
he
didn't
went to
know
go
he
get
was
him.
going to be in. I didn't know he was going to be here.
Yeah, he's coming. Yeah, he's physically gonna be here.
He's physically going to be here. Okay,
Yep.
okay, right. This is going to be great.
Yeah, and then so I want to set it off. I was gonna put AD had to go down. So
I can
I want to ask.
Go ahead.
I want to ask real quick because AD got to ask some questions when he go back to this because the flat Earth. It was crazy last time, but nobody was saying anything.
Nobody was saying anything.
When he was here breaking it down. All the flat earthers out there in the chat room. I know Musaka.
They waited till he left, and then they wanted to probably try to build. See, when the real guys get here, everybody want to just sit there and listen.
Right.
When really, if you really believe in your theories, you should be presenting them to us. This guy is an astronomer.
That's what debate is about.
That's what it's about.
Here's the thing, and let's talk about holding accountability because I had to go through something today, and even myself, when I say holding yourself accountable of things, that's the best thing that you could do. You know what I mean? When you don't do that, in a lot of relationships, like I was telling Loch Ness the last time, they don't hold accountability of things that they do that's wrong, and you should be able to open up and talk about things, even if it's about knowledge, if it's about anything, or y'all might just have a disagreement in a relationship. Like what Gina was saying. Sometimes, your other half can get out of line.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then it's up to her to check herself, as well as the guys. It's up to him to check himself. But if you just hold it back on and not giving that up, then you're not really in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? A relationship is for two people to mesh together, and then you got to deal with certain things. But if you're not doing that, then that's not good.
Yes.
So I had to make sure I say that because in our profession and what we do with music is a lot of things that go on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I'm just putting that out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gina just said the man in the mirror. That's right. Yes, indeed.
Is Gina right there?
Yeah,
Okay.
Gina. Yep. Jody says true. Yep. Exactly. Well, I'm just regular kicking it, man.
I was doing a little research last night myself. I came across. You know who Dr. Ivan Van Sertima is? Have you read any of his books?
Nah.
He wrote a book called The Great African Technologies of the World, and I was reading in that book about how Africans was smelting or making steel 5,000 years before the Europeans started to do it. This art was done in Africa,
Right.
smelting steel, and
Yeah.
it was very interesting because
Peace.
Peace.
Shalom. What's good?
peace.
What's
very-
good?
Not only that, though, I say that that they discovered in Africa that the Africans had telescopes way before Galileo Galilei of
Peace, bro.
Italy.
All right, peace. All right, no doubt. See you.
So the thing about it is that they think they look at us as African as being a primitive society, when in reality is that the Europeans have not really caught up to what the African has done. They only discovered their own discoveries in the last certain amount, 6,000 years. Africans have been doing things thousands, rather I'll say millions of years before the Europeans.
No yelling.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So I find that to be very interesting. Another thing is that they probably bring up the fact that where is these artifacts at? Where is the African telescope? So,
But we haven't. Let me say this: we haven't done nothing since, man. We got to turn ourselves up. We haven't. What have we did? As a people that's so great. I mean,
You talking
all
about
we doing
talking
Black
about-
Lives Matter, marching,
Yeah.
fighting and shooting each other. You know what I'm saying?
we got it.
And being no, for real. This is real talk, man. Because we fell off. We like the Jets. You know what I'm saying? In football, it's like, yo, cats haven't been doing nothing in a while, yo. And we only can blame accountability. We only can blame ourselves, bro. You know what I'm saying? When the last time cats built a pyramid? Yeah. Kris is in place. Let's bring him on, man, because this is great. Kris Ransom in the building. Yo, y'all asked about him. The chat room is in the building. Shout out to the Rocketeers and the Craftsmen. Coming in the building.
This mic right here?
Yeah, you can use.
And then that one right there.
Yeah, that one's for you. You're gonna use that one.
All right.
The last time we was built. Yeah, somebody got to tell the truth. Bring out the truth and build. So he said, yeah, man. Anthropologists are still confused about the wheel in Africa. And the museums and pay homage. Yeah. Well, okay. The thing now is to rebuild. Like you said, it's retrograde now. Where's our minds at today? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I say that we're suffering from what some of us call post-traumatic slave syndrome.
Nah, that's a good excuse. You agree with that? Yeah. But okay,
That's
so
part
what?
of not knowing who you are.
Right.
If you
right.
do not know,
explain it.
If
Yeah,
you do not know who you are, and all people around the world can look at their race as being great. The Chinese can look at the great marvels of the Chinese wall; they marvel at that. The whites can go and look at the cathedrals and everything, right? All other groups, the Inca, all the people in Latin America. But when it comes to the African, they try to downplay our
I think that's an
engineering.
excuse. I think it is.
Engineering. No. This African history has been politicized to keep us away from the great achievement, archaeological achievement. See, when the white man, excuse my language, I don't want to say I'm racist against white people, but when the white man begins to study the African,
yeah, go ahead.
he has to. He marvels at he says to himself, because how can these primitive people have done all of these things? So if they have to put it on something else, they have to write it off. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay,
You
well,
can come in more if you're gonna.
Come in a little. Okay. Yeah, oh, am I?
See how you are.
okay.
Oh.
What
yeah, a
about
little
what
bit.
about what about?
Oh, okay.
Okay, listen. What about cats that study and go into trying to make a difference, trying to come out and uplift their hood and there's a lot of people like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, who stood up for something.
Well, that was a strategy, because at that time in the 1940s and the 50s, they had like I was saying to the brother the other day who came over was building with me. They didn't learn the sunnah of Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, so
What?
they didn't learn Orthodox Islam. The sunnah, not the Muslim Malcolm X and them. They wasn't Orthodox Muslims.
I'm talking about movement.
Yeah, that was a movement.
What that have to do with
listen
the
to what.
movement?
Let me finish what I'm saying.
Good.
Malcolm X, yes, he did a lot of things, but it was the knowledge of the Nation of Islam to get him to raise his consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he wouldn't have been able to go into the hood and clean it up if he wasn't educated about himself.
Mm-hmm.
So he read the teachings of the Nation of Islam.
Right.
What I was trying to say was he didn't learn Orthodox Islam. He learned the Islam, a form of Masonic Islam that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught to the people to get them to clean themselves up.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's only that information was really that helped the people like them to raise their consciousness. Your consciousness has to be raised.
But
to
I'm
a certain
saying,
level
but okay.
to do anything for good in your community.
But I'm saying, okay, so he went, he was from the hood, but see, Martin Luther King wasn't, and I think it was the oppression. When you tired of oppression and stuff like that, certain people want to change, and there's certain people that want to sit in it, and just, I mean, I don't think they really want to sit in it. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like people just get used to it, and they was like, man,
Right.
forget it. And
Right.
it's like that type of thinking is what got us in the predicament we are, you know what I'm saying? And it's like hate for ourselves. I think that's not that's not very healthy. You know what I mean? The way that we think.
Yeah.
We have to change. We have to start within ourselves also, man. Cats got to start looking. I know, yeah, we were kings and we did all of this stuff like that, but we have to start acting like it,
well,
and with each other.
Without no knowledge and no wisdom, we can't get the brothers and sisters to come together. They got to have some form of look at themselves with some form of dignity and greatness about themselves before they can even come together. You know what I mean? Even though we do come together for events and
Yeah, they come together for picnics.
picnics and events. We got June 10th down there in Lamert Park. Everybody comes together. Juneteenth, right? But after Juneteenth, everybody goes back to Watts. Everybody go back to Compton. Everybody go back to whatever, part of the neighborhood they from around that area. And they do not mingle. They do not. Some of them I can't judge. And
Funerals,
say
they come together. Somebody die.
Yeah. But people should put, like back in the day, let's say going back in the days of Dr. John Henry Clark, they should, brothers and sisters, black brothers and sisters, we should form book clubs, like how they did history clubs, where we can really, you know what I mean? They can start to get the history and combine the history together for themselves. And then you can start to feel great. Because when you start to really read about how great Africans was, that's what makes me great. And then I can look at you and you great. And I can look at you and you great. And I can look at the brother right here is great. Priest, you already great because you put it in your music. You're like a walking historical book.
Thank you, man. I'm just putting my part to it, man, and I'm just trying to build. We all putting parts to a pyramid that's mental, and I'm just like, okay, just try to put a brick here and a brick here, and not trying to take away, but it has to start somewhere. And I'm just speaking from the heart, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just trying to be like, yo, if real love is being honest with ourselves, and what we started with, taking accountability. We can't be just we hurting each other. We hurting ourselves when we hurt each other. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, this is like check. We need to check. I don't know if it's retrograde, but we need to check ourselves and get into some elevation and some upliftment.
I got you.
If we call ourselves kings and queens, we need to start acting like it. Start indulging in things that will get our minds out. I mean, try something different. We do the same thing every day. Some cats don't even leave the hood. Try to leave. Try to go around somewhere. Just look at some things. Yeah, indeed. Try something different. Everybody does the same thing all the time. Life is about changing and growing, and I think that building is exactly what it means. And if we talking to each other now, because on these dates, we have to sit down and have a heart-to-heart and real talk with each other, yo. We need to put ourselves in the check, and then like the monks, you know what I'm saying? Just like when you're sitting down and you come down and you really talk to each other as a family. We got to check ourselves, yo. In order to invent and build up. Yeah, Eddie says striving for perfection. That's right. Exactly. At the same time, it's all love, bro. Yeah, exactly. It's all love at the same time. And this is real love. Real love is being honest and truthful. And that's what it's about, So we got to start. And then we have somebody on here, man. I mean, he's back, y'all. Kris Ransom. Y'all, I want to give you a great intro. We missed it. Come on, brother. Hey! I put up. Man, I put on my amethyst. I don't put on my amethyst for everybody, man. Put on my amethyst for you, brother, because the last time we was here, you was the chat room really loved you, man. You were going through so.
I'm gonna have you go slightly to your left. To your left, please. Slightly. Boom.
Yeah.
Right there. Cool. And then Rasul. Bring it in. Bam. Perfect.
Who said that? Somebody said that. Yeah. But Lil said he said black men need to stop being so emotional. That's true. We act off emotions. you know, we're quick to grab the hand. That's emotions and stuff like that. Instead of thinking things out, that's when you start to grow. It's all about growth and development, man. At the end of the day, growth and development. And even with the Crips, they started out as a conscious revolution in progress, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, and I was thinking about when he was talking a little bit ago about how even like cuz and blood was originally black unity terms.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
now blood say blood, Crips say cuz, but back in the days, them was like, you know what I'm saying, Black Panther terms for if you my blood, it's because we the same. You my cuz because you my family.
Exactly.
And you know they say cuz in Philly too.
Yeah, and they still say blood in the Bay, and
Yeah,
there's still a
blood
lot
in
of
the Bay.
older
Yep.
black
Yep.
cats still be
Yep.
like, oh, what's up, young blood? And
Young
all
blood,
that.
young. In fact, I would use that term sometimes, young blood, back in the day though, in Philly, that was kind of used.
Yeah.
You
But
know
it was
what I
for a positive thing. You thought of something
Yeah,
different. You
exactly.
thought of upliftment. It
Right.
made you feel something.
And it's
Right.
crazy how positive terms got switched around to become negative terms.
Exactly.
I think that's that COINTELPRO. Hey,
Oh yeah.
Woo!
Hey.
We got a bomb for that.
Hey,
Talk
AD.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what's the Wi-Fi?
Oh, I'll give it to you right now. 1 second.
I like that. IOE, intelligence over emotions.
Web core.
Shout out to Los. Yeah, man. It's great. It's great. Shoot, yeah. So we getting everything. Yo, what's good, bro?
Man, respect.
Man, I
hey
can't
man,
wait
I
to
was
get
waiting.
into
I had some OG brothers at the house chilling with me, man. Big up to my big brother JC from Six Deuce and the big brother Bamboo. They was over there just chopping it up while we was waiting on Jim Get him to get over there. Yeah, I brought a special guest with me too. This
All right.
This the youngest producer, used to be on Death Row. You know what I'm saying? This
Oh,
Crooked
peace.
Eye original producer. He did a
Oh,
gang of
man.
beats for people over on Death Row.
Well,
That's
okay, we're gonna
that's
bring
my
him up
bro
here.
though. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
okay.
We chop it up with
Peace,
the knowledge
brother.
and stuff.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
we on the
lovely.
music and we on the knowledge, like, you know what I'm saying? God brought us together a long time ago, though.
Right. Yeah. Oh man, that's a dope shot. So you got the dashiki. Word. We're gonna build the day. Yeah, exactly. We're gonna build the day. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Word. Yeah. So should we have him up here soon or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
Whenever.
Okay. Yeah. Bring him up here because if you want to build soon.
Oh, I know. You could ask him some questions from back in the day. He even took me to the studio back when I went to the studio with him when they was recording on Death Row.
Right. Exactly. All right. So yeah, we'll set all of that up. We got he right there. You just come on.
Yep.
Tell us what's been going on, bro.
Man.
What we need to know. What's going on. We got these groups. I mean, there's a lot of information out now that's about ancient aliens. A lot of people are opening up to the ancient world, the Sumerians, the ancient Hebrews. Where do they fit in? And tell us about what you know.
Man, you know, it's a lot of crazy stuff going on, but like it said in the prophet Daniel, you know, in the last days, he said people gonna run to and fro, and knowledge is gonna be increased. So now that this knowledge is being increased, we finding out ways to study certain things. And you know, first thing I want to do, we can go into the DNA. We want to go into the DNA of Israel, and then we're gonna go into the Nephilim DNA that's in the human gene pool. But as far as like touching on us and our people, why we done been through all this stuff, and you know, a lot of people out there tuning in, Israelites know about the Deuteronomy 28. That's what opened up a lot of people's eyes when they see the stuff about going into slavery to all the nations and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, our people identify with it. But then, you know, a lot of people be like, oh, that ain't y'all. That's not you guys. You know, y'all just some Africans was swinging from the jungle vines. Y'all, that ain't y'all. Ain't got nothing to do with y'all people. Y'all ain't never was over there or nothing like that.
Right.
And then, you know, I used to hear people talk about the Asiatic black man back in the days, and I never knew what that meant really. But then, and, you know, and I had cats break it down to me who was on the, you know, like he touched on the Elijah Muhammad stuff. And, you know, and I agree. That is Masonic Islam because it's got a lot of stuff in it that sounds a lot like Masonry.
Well, a lot of
and like I used to build with cats, you know, in Compton at the mosque and stuff like that.
Right,
and,
right.
You know, I've had a cat, you know, that's from the Nation of Islam. Boom, hit me with the ring with the crescent.
We gotta get you a chair.
Hit me with the ring with the G and the compass.
Wow.
You know
wow,
what I'm saying?
Wow.
But
Okay. So yeah.
you know what I'm saying? This guy with the
We got
suit and
another
the
chair?
bow tie. But Trip,
We're gonna rotate. Yeah. Okay.
But right now, shoot, there's so much stuff influenced by Masonry, or you know, you got so mainstream Christianity in America is controlled by Masonry, but you got
the whole concept of religion all comes from masonry.
Well, you got something that's the war against the masonry. To me,
Right.
they both on the crazy side, and that's the Catholic Church and the Jesuits and
Right.
stuff like that. And they've been having
They're
battle
they're
going
knights
on
of
for
they're from the
centuries.
Knights of Columbus.
Well, no, they used to run them different knights of this
Yeah,
and knights
right,
of that.
right.
Even the what's the other knights? The ones
The Knights of Templar.
yeah, the Templar. They used to run all of them,
Yeah.
you know, and so some of them broke away from that and
Exactly.
got on different stuff or whatever.
Yo.
But I mean, you know,
You're great, making a good point.
but if we get all the way back to Revelation 17, and we just want to get into Bible prophecy and sum it all up like this, Revelation 17 says, "Mystery Babylon is a city that reigns over the kings of the earth." And
Could
if-
you pull that up for AD?
and
You
if we-
want
Oh yeah, you can go right to Revelation 17 and look that up. So it talk about Mystery Babylon, the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth, and how pretty much it hit the last line of that chapter.
15.
Yeah, the woman that you saw is the great city that rules over the kings of the earth. See it, verse 18 right there. So it's
Can
only.
they see it, AD?
Not yet.
Oh, make sure the people can see it too.
But see, it's only one
Right.
city that could be in reference to. This city is a source of religion. This city is a state. It's a source of politics. It reigns over kings. The only city that could be a reference to in the first century, anybody who knows history will know this, that's the city of Rome. It's calling Mystery Babylon, right? And so from Rome,
Why you say that? Why you say that? The mystery
because
about-
that's written in the first century, right? In the first century,
Right.
it was only
It
one
was
major
written.
kingdom that had taken over everybody. Jerusalem was taken over by the Romans. It was destroyed by the Romans in 70 AD, but the Romans took over Jerusalem in the BC. You know what I'm saying? They took over Egypt, you know what I'm saying, in the BC from the Greeks. See, it's like the prophet Daniel described a beast
Right.
and how it's 4 beasts. And each one of these beasts do specific things in regard to rulership of the world. And they go from Babylon to the Persian Empire to the Greek Empire to the Roman Empire. And the Roman Empire is going to be directly conquered at the second coming of the Mashiach. So the Messiah going to defeat Rome. I mean, Rome been in power for 2,000 years. But it talk about how Rome was going to switch up from being the old Roman Empire to being the 10 horns, which is the divided nations of the Roman Empire. And that's who went out and conquered the whole world in European colonialism. And you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, you know, it's a Daniel
did
7.
that?
It's a Daniel 7 verse where it talk about, you know, that fourth beast is exceedingly dreadful and different from all the other beasts because it's going to devour the whole world and trample it and break it in pieces. And if you just Google, you know what I'm saying, Europe devoured the whole world, or nations who've been conquered by Europe, it's going to show you the whole world besides Europe, put nations that have been conquered by Europe.
Damn.
And then look it up on images, and you will look it up on images. And you will see, look at the first one. Hit the first image that popped up.
And
The
that-
first image. Yeah, that one right there. So the purple is Europe, and the green is the rest of the world. So nations that have been conquered by Europe. Europe is the only
Damn.
one that can fulfill Western Europe, really. The nations who came from
That one right there, AD. Which one you got up there? You got 3 of them.
the green one.
This one right here?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one we want. The first one that popped up. But see, that's nations that have been conquered by Europe. See, everything in purple is already them. And then everything else in the green, that's where they conquered. So it's only one candidate for who's devoured the whole world. That's the nations of Western Europe. That's why we in California speaking English. But see, for North and South America, the whole Western hemisphere, they never been, people trying to say Islam is the beast. Islam don't got one country in the Western hemisphere, right?
That is-
Not one. Not one. So it hasn't devoured the whole world. But what devoured the whole
So the
world?
purple, yeah. I see the purple.
The purple is where they come from.
Wow.
And then the rest of the world, the green is where they've conquered.
Yes.
Right?
Crazy.
So you know, and as far as the Catholic Church coming from the pagan Rome mystery schools and being mixed up with taking bits and pieces of stuff, that's the mystery Babylon that it's talking about. And you know what I'm saying, like he was saying with the Masons, how the Masons, you know, came out of certain branches with the Knights Templar and these different groups or whatever, and the Masons kind
Write
of
that
got
down,
stronger
y'all.
in the Islamic world because a lot of them dudes in the Crusades was over there fighting Muslims and got exposed to different knowledge.
Exactly. When the so-called Crusaders came into Palestine, and they went to Jerusalem, and they ravaged the place basically for months on end. what happened was the Christians started, the Templars started to watch the Muslims, and they became very, very inquisitive about the Quran, the Muqtari, the Iqama, all of these things. And they start asking them questions about the prayer. So the Muslims said, okay, if you want us to teach you this, you have to take your Shahada. So the Templars said, well, what's Shahada? And they explained to them in Arabic the word meaning bearing witness. And they said, well, we believe in Christ. And they would use the Quran to justify things in their synoptic gospels about Yeshua HaMashiach, who they refer to as Jesus Christ. And there are certain greetings, like Assalamu Alaikum. And they would teach him these things. Like, what does that mean? He said, well, it's the same thing Jesus said in the upper room. Remember what Jesus said? Peace be upon you. In Arabic, that means salam, or silham, or shalom. Yeah. Same word.
Well, like how, Muslims say salam alaikum, but in Hebrew they say shalom alaikum.
Shalom alaik.
Shalom alaikum.
Same thing.
But trip off of this. You look at the high level Masons, and they become Shriners, and they run around and get that red fez with the crescent moon and the star.
That's right.
And the scimitar sword on it.
Exactly.
Because that's showing the connection.
Exactly.
But the trip off of it is even Islam is part of Mystery Babylon. Islam is also one of the false religions of the world, and a lot of that comes from Rome. A lot of that comes from ancient Arab pagan religions like Ramadan. The daughters of Allah, Alad, Aluz, Al-Manat. That's all ancient Arab paganism. They did the same thing as the Romans. They took what the truth of the Hebrews, the Israelites, and they mixed it with some of their pagan traditions and made their own religion. So Catholic is the strongest one of them, but Islam is the same stuff. Mormon is the same stuff. Jehovah's Witness, all of them do the same stuff. They go to the Hebrew scriptures of the Israelites, and then they try to make their own thing. But see, the Israelites would never follow an Ishmaelite, because we know the covenant went from Isaac to Jacob, Yaakov, whose name was changed to Israel, and he had 12 sons, and all the prophets come from the 12 tribes of Israel. We would never follow a prophet, a moon worshiping prophet of Islam, but that he converted a lot of Hebrew Arab tribes and also Canaanite tribes in that area, and they became the second biggest thing to the Catholic Church. While when you read Revelations 13, it talk about the beast, with the 7 heads and the 10 horns and all that, representing all 4 of the beasts under the power of Rome. Then they talk about another beast rises up, looks like a lamb, speaks like a dragon. This beast is also called the false prophet, and that's Islam. See, Islam is part of the beast too. Islam and Christianity are both part of the beast systems. And they're going to probably unite in the last days under the final pope before Jesus come back and destroy all of them. And they're going to have a fake dude that they think is the second coming of Jesus with the Mahdi. They're going to follow the pope. The pope going to bring world peace with the Jews. They're going to make peace in Israel, build a temple in Israel. Everybody going to be acting like they all getting along with one world religion. And the Most High going to shut them all down, because they're all basically pagans hiding under some of the descriptions or some of the teachings of the ancient Israelites, but they mix them with their pagan traditions. And so they reject the holy days that God commanded in the Torah through Moshe or Moses, and then they insert their own holy days, whether it's the Europeans or the Arabs. And then they got the whole world following after that stuff, marveling after it. That's why it said really, the Messiah said in Matthew 7, he said, this is how you could tell a false prophet. He said that he said the false prophets, they come at you like sheep, but inwardly they're ravenous wolves. And he tell you, this is how you can know who they is. He said, not everybody who says, Lord, Lord, is going to be saved, but them who do the will of the Father in heaven. He said, many people are going to say, didn't we cast out demons in your name, prophesy in your name, do many wonders in your name? And he said, I'm going to tell them, I never knew you, I never knew you, practitioners of lawlessness. What they translate as lawlessness means Torah-lessness. See, Islam and Christianity reject the Torah and fill it with their own traditions from their nations, which before they even believed in one God. They had their traditions already. Then they say, okay, we believe in one God now, but we're going to keep some of our pagan traditions and act like our stuff is the real stuff. And so then they go to war and fight with each other. They all fighting over paganism, because Ramadan is pagan, the moon god is pagan, Alad, Aluz, Almanat, all that stuff. But then the Christianity, Sunday church is pagan, Easter is pagan, Christmas is pagan. Pretty much the whole world is caught up in paganism, acting like they following the Most High, but they reject the Torah. And so the only way you can see if they really is with the truth, according to the Messiah, Jesus, is if they follow the Torah. And you put them to the Torah test. And you see if they follow the holy days in the Torah, if they follow the stuff that God prescribed in the Torah, not just bits and pieces of it, but then reject some of it, or most of it, then he said you could look at them and say, hey, this one here, this is a false prophet, because they act like they with the real, but they not following the Torah. And the Torah is light. You don't follow the Torah, He said you don't follow the Torah. He said you in darkness. It's a parable that Jesus told about foolish virgins. He said it's gonna be like this in the last days. You got 10 virgins, 5 of them wise.
Hey, you about to follow the Torah?
He said 5 of them wise and 5 of them is foolish. He said the 5 wise had oil for they all 10 had lamps, but the 5 wise had oil for their lamps. The 10 foolish ones didn't. When the time came for the bridegroom, the Son of Man, the Mashiach, to return, it said the ones that didn't have no oil in their lamps were trying to get some oil from the other ones. And they was like, nah, unless we don't have enough. And it said then they was like, well, let us in. And he said, nah, they knocking. He said, but he told them, who are you? I don't know you. The same thing he told them in Matthew 7. It's talking about the same stuff. Them not having no light in their lamps means they not following the Torah, because Proverbs 6:23 says the commandment or mitzvah is the lamp, and the Torah or law is light. So you got a lamp, meaning you got the commandments of God in your hand, but you ain't following them. You ain't following the Torah. You ain't walking in the light. So that's what that darkness is of the foolish virgins. So mostly everybody talking about God, they in darkness. They foolish virgins because they don't follow the Torah. The Torah is the law or instruction of God, from the Hebrew word yara, meaning the point. Or even if we were shooting guns, like when we was talking Hebrew, we like blasting people, we'd be like yara, yara, yara. You know what I'm saying? So
hard.
you know what I'm saying? So
that's kind of hard.
Yeah, so the Torah,
make some noise for that one.
The Torah is us is us being on target. So when you sin, like it says in what's that? 1 John chapter 3, verse 4.
Yeah,
it says sin is transgression of the law, meaning sin is transgression of the Torah. So if the Torah says don't have sex with a man like it's a woman, and you don't do that, that's a sin. If the Torah says don't eat pork and you do it, that's a sin. If the Torah said don't do business transactions on the 7th day of the week and you do, you sinning. So sin is when you transgress God's ordained law in the Torah. And then that could get back to the captivity of the Israelites, because not everybody got the Torah delivered to them, but God chose a specific people to be his people, to bring the Torah to the nations of the earth, right? And this specific people was in slavery to another specific people. And God said, what time has he gone in the midst of a nation, taken a nation out of a nation and made them a nation? That's talking about Israel being taken out of Egypt. Right. When he did that and he made Israel, then he saved Israel first, then delivered Israel the Torah and said, now follow this as your reasonable response for what I just did for you.
Right.
They said, man, the Canaanites over there, they worshiping Easter, coloring Easter eggs, putting up Christmas trees. The Moabites over there running trains. We gonna do what they were doing. So then God was like, okay, you want to follow these heathens? I'm gonna put you in slavery to the heathens. Since you want to do what they doing, I'm gonna put you in slavery to them. And this happened over and over in the scriptures until we get to this final captivity of the final world beast, which is the Roman Empire. And it's only one people that have been scattered all over the world in the Roman Empire as slaves. And when you get into the DNA of these people, that's when they get flipped, because it's an Ashkenazi Jewish dude from Harvard University named David Reich. He tested all Jewish groups right now that's recognized as Jews, and only one DNA they all have in common, but they only have this DNA at 3 to 5%. That DNA is E1B1A. So the Ashkenazi David Reich used E1B1A to prove Jews are a people. But now E1B1A is the DNA of the slave trade, the transatlantic and the trans-Saharan, because the Arabs took more slaves in the trans-Saharan slave trade than the Christians did in the transatlantic. But the Muslims was cutting off balls, so we didn't multiply in they slave trade areas like we did in the Christian areas with the Catholics, which was one thing. But even the Protestants was better than some of the Catholics. But the Muslims was cutting off balls. That's why you got blacks in Iraq and Iran, E1B1A, Bantu type of Africans, all the way to Pakistan, India, that went over there in slavery. We the only people that have been scattered into slavery to all the different nations. You know what I'm saying? To all the continents.
Get this man some more bombs. He need.
Well, hold on.
We gotta take this in sections.
Let me say this.
Well, before we get to that, we gotta go in sections, because man, you're dropping jewels like by the truckload right now. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta show some attention to the chat. Go ahead, Priest.
He said, "This is a question for you. If religion stems from pagan scriptures, does Egyptian Ma'at predate Hebrew scriptures? Where to go for the original unfiltered truth? Emerald tablets?"
No, the unfiltered truth, you go right there to the Torah, to Moses. I mean, the truth is originally, After the Tower of Babel, when God divided the nations and everybody went to their different parts of the world with their different languages or whatever, he appointed different Bene Elohim or angels or celestial beings over different nations. And so all these different nations had different celestial beings over them and governing them and influencing them. And some of them even had sex with some of their women. And that's where you get all the different genetics in the human gene pool that don't come from Adam and Eve. But then at the same time, God preserved the people. It's a people on earth, E1B1A, sub-Saharan Africans that don't have the Cro-Magnon and the Neanderthal and the Denisovan and all that, and we could bring up a video about white scientists talking about it, but we can go up into David Reich, the same dude who proved that
pull up David Reich.
Yeah, the same
David who?
David Reich. He's a geneticist at Harvard. He proved that the only DNA in all modern Jewish groups is E1B1A, but he also proved that all non-E1B1A people are hybrids.
Wow. Yeah, pull that up. Do you have this information?
Oh yeah.
Yo. Oh man, this you have to pull this information out. This is getting crazy.
You could bring up just type in David Reich, Harvard Medical. Reich is Reich like REICH. Harvard Medical, Neanderthal DNA. That's him though, but then do Neanderthal DNA.
Somebody said Nephilim. We're gonna get into that.
Yeah, well that's part of the Nephilim for sure. But Cro-Magnon, Neanderthal, Denisovan. No, Elohim doesn't mean my masters. No. Elohim means it means mighty one or powerful one. It's talking about a divine being. It doesn't really mean God. It means the most. When you say the most high God, you know what I'm saying, we're talking about the most high. But when we're talking about there's other Elohims, you know what I'm saying, according to the scriptures, when he divided the nations to the Bene Elohims, and he calls angels Elohim. Elohim means like a divine being or a power, a divine power, but it doesn't mean my masters.
Elohim is an anther.
Peace.
El means Lord.
I see somebody saying, where do blacks come in regarding A1B1? A is the original DNA. Everybody on Earth has the Y DNA of A, which is like what they call the Bushmen or Khoisan Africans. So everybody has their DNA. Everybody has the DNA of Y DNA B also. And then everybody else just has like different mutations and mixed with stuff. And then they was coming with evolution, trying to say different stuff evolved when different people went over the world. Now they know that stuff didn't evolve. People had that ancient DNA and they went to different parts of the world and they went to different places and they mixed with non-humans. And that's where the different genes come from. They didn't evolve the different genes.
So are you saying like so does this come into the Nephilim, the Nephilim coming into the picture of bringing in their religion, or was there people, or was there what was the Nephilims?
The Nephilim was the hybrids, like say in what the ancient Greek religion we call mythology now. It was really believed to be true by the Greeks. The ancient religion of the Egyptians we call mythology now, they believed it to be true. The ancient religions of the Babylonians, they're like, oh, that's mythology. But they was talking about it was celestial beings. It was beings from heaven coming down, having sex with mortals.
Right.
And then mortals was coming out looking different. Some of them had different animal features. Some of them had different features or different abilities of the celestials.
So this is what the Babylonians believe.
This is what the Babylonians did. This is what almost everybody believed, but the Israelites. The Israelites would be like, oh, they're gods. They're worshiping the fallen ones and their children with human women. Right. But the other nations was like, these is gods. Because the other, I mean, you know what I'm saying? They didn't have, like, basically nothing to hold it to. They was like, just like Eve in the Garden of Eden. When the serpent came up talking to her, she was like, whoa, her mind blown. Now imagine all these nations in different parts of the world, and they got angels ruling over them, and then this angel or this Bene Elohim, this divine being, says, you know what? I don't even serve the Most High no more. You know what? I'm God. Y'all worship me now. Bring me all the finest chicks in this town. It's going down. And then next thing you know, they make their children to be the bloodline of the royals. And then they have divine interaction with them certain bloodlines because they bred into that bloodline.
Okay. And we got proof You got it. Oh man, this is crazy. So
look, we're gonna go in the Neanderthal DNA right here. This is from David Wright right here. It said.
Is this it?
No, that's one of them. But can I text you one of them? You can
Yeah,
bring it up?
this is David Wright.
Can you email?
Oh, yeah, I could email you this one.
Take it. Yo, for the viewers, make sure y'all hit subscribe and make sure y'all hit the super chat. Y'all want to ask Kris Ransom some questions. Yo, he going in. He's on fire right now, bro. It's like you've been building up for a long time. Yo, you on fire, bro.
I got notes and notes.
Hey,
so
they don't call them spit flames for nothing.
Barbie. Yeah, you spit flame. And it's retrograde, so you really going in, man. You need it. Man, we should have.
But I want to just read what this says. I'm gonna
Go
send it
ahead,
to him,
brother.
and he gonna put it on.
Because I want to know
But look,
about
in total, Professor Reich's team located 100,000 genes that originally belonged to the Neanderthal genomes, not genome, genomes, but penetrated the human genome thanks to our frisky ancestors. See, that means it's 100,000 genes in the human genome that didn't come from humans, but came from humans having sex with non-humans. And if we go back to the Bible, you know, I mean, some people would go ancient aliens. That's alien DNA. But if we go back to the Bible, that's the Nephilim. It's all talking about the same thing.
Right.
Like, you know, what some people call ancient aliens or some people call celestial beings. Like, I was talking to a dude, you know, a Masonic white dude. I told you about him before.
Yeah,
and this dude was you know, he kind of said some stuff in front of some people where they was shocked.
Right.
Like some OG Crip dudes I know. He was
Right.
he's breaking down some Egyptian stuff. And I was like, why you follow that when they followed Nephilim?
Right.
He was like, I'm a Nephilim. I was like, what? I said, how you know you a Nephilim? He said, we have meetings. He said, my family didn't pass this down from generation to generation. We know we came from a giant redhead.
Right.
And
So are the Nephilims, they're black and white? They, what,
the Nephilims is white.
Whatever. Oh, they white.
Well, they're whatever.
Right.
But the gene for being white
Right.
came from the Nephilim. The gene for blonde hair and red hair, green eyes,
Break
blue
that
eyes,
down, break
all
that
stuff
down,
comes
break
from
that
all that
down,
stuff
break
comes
that
from the Nephilim.
Right.
But right here, how it says like how Professor Reich. Oh, let me send this to the brother so we can put this on real quick. Okay. Copy.
Yo, Kris Ransom, you got to look. It's fire all on. It's fire all on the board, yo. Yo, it'll look like this. Since what they burn up? What was it Jericho? Where is Jericho? Where is Jericho?
Oh,
was
I
Jericho
got
real?
I got,
What
I
was
got the
Jericho?
info on Jericho. I
Yeah.
got the DNA of it to
Yeah.
prove the DNA of the Canaanites to prove that we don't come from Ham because they've been trying to tell us for years. They're trying to say we got enslaved because we the cursed Canaanites and all
Fire
that.
all on.
I got the DNA of the Canaanites that they done dug up and tested, and we can see the DNA of Jericho, the DNA of the Sidonians, and it's not us. I can show you who they modern descendants are though.
Oh yeah.
You heard of Ben Affleck?
I pull up this.
He one of them.
Ben Affleck,
Yeah.
the actor.
He's a Canaanite.
He's a Canaanite.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to have you come. We're gonna have to have the brother come up here, yo. We're gonna have to have you come up here.
AD, the one that's at info@web. Oh.
That's okay. You put it out there.
It's like you've been in the cage. It's like you've been in the cage studying for all that time.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah. Oh, that's the cat. Yeah, he bit you.
Hey, that cat is vicious. He was hissing at me last time when I grabbed some pizza. I was like, I bought the pizza.
Yo,
I'm
he gonna
getting
jump
a
up.
piece of
He
pizza.
would bite you,
looked
yo.
at me like,
He usually.
I'm like, that's my pizza.
What he do? He flashed the gun. He flashes the gun.
He flashed.
Oh,
he put the claws out.
He started swinging now. He
Yeah, he swung
put
at
the
me
teeth.
like-
Yeah, he put.
I didn't even see him. I thought he was over there.
Yo, that cat is crazy. Yo, keep your eye on the cat. Yo, Mojito we had another.
It's all good, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, you should have got
Okay,
that
so-
one. Let me see. I'm sending you this other one too.
It-
I'm
yeah.
gonna send
the
you
guy
this
name.
other one too.
Oh, you want your mic up?
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, so
Oh, look, I'm gonna read this one. I'm gonna send it to you so you can put it up. But it says, for example, the Neanderthal version of skin gene POU2F3 is found in around 66% of East Asians, while the Neanderthal version of BNC2, which affects skin color among other traits, is found in 70% of Europeans. So this is a non-human gene.
Say that
But-
again. Could you say that again, real slow, brother?
Like the one he's gonna put up is
Yeah.
that says it's 100,000 genes in the human gene pool that don't come from humans. Mm-hmm. Then there's another one right after that that's gonna say the name of two of those genes and what those genes do. Are you getting these emails?
I'm getting the link try to reload it.
A long time.
And this ain't even racism or salvation issues. Anybody could be saved. Everybody flesh going to the dirt. And anybody from any nation who wants to follow the Most High, who believes in the Mashiach, his son, Yeshua HaMashiach, who they call Jesus the Christ. If you believe in him for the payment of your sins, which is transgression of God's law, and you repent of transgressing God's law, and you start obeying God's law, you will be forgiven of your sins and adopted into his kingdom as his child, regardless of what nation you're from. But he said, like in the New Testament, Paul said to the Jew first and then to the Gentile, and like he said in in Romans 11, talking about the salvation of the Gentiles, he said he was telling them that, you know, you are from a wild olive tree, and he said, you being from a wild olive tree, being grafted contrary to nature to the cultivated olive tree, how much more these who be grafted into their own tree? Meaning it's easier for natural Israelites to get it and to come in, because we're really not supposed to be wild by nature, but we are rebellious people. You know what I'm saying? But as far as it's in our nature,
right,
to follow God's law and commandments. Like when somebody deliver God's law and commandments to us, for some reason we be like kind of wanting to do it, whereas the other nations buck more. Israel buck because Israel's rebellious. The nations buck because they wild by nature. So it's a different kind of bucking. But like Paul said in Romans 11, it's easier to graft us into our own tree than it is those who are contrary to the nature being grafted into the tree, and they can be grafted in. So he's saying people whose nature is contrary to Israel can still become a part of Israel, even though it's not in their physical nature. You know what I'm saying? If they get grafted to the tree, like you take a limb from a tree and you put it on another tree, then that sap from that tree gonna be in that limb. So even though that limb on the outside is from another tree, on the inside they Israel, because the sap. See, that's the Holy Spirit, you know, in us. Because he said, you know what I'm saying, how we branches on the vine. As long as we stay connected, then his life is in us because we're connected to the tree. But if you break off from the tree, you're on the ground, you're just a stem used for just to make some fire.
It's hard. They was like, it was like parable. The parables was like, they was just like dropping jewels back then.
Oh, the link's
like
not working. It's giving me an error.
How about text? Or it won't work?
I mean, the text is going to go to my phone, though.
And then you could just email it to yourself.
I could do that. Yeah, try that.
That's crazy, because that goes back what I was just saying. Somebody just said hard-headed brothers. Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are. But see, that's why we have the curse of captivity for disobeying the Torah when the other nations don't.
That's what Sewell said.
Yeah, see, because God actually chose our people to be the ones to teach everybody about God. We get a stricter judgment than the other nations. So they can reject God, eat pork, do all kind of crazy stuff, and you know what I'm saying, worship, you know, the sun, moon, and the stars and the host of heaven and all that, and still have a cool life, success, everything. We do the same stuff they do. We getting judgment. So we can't do the same stuff the nations do, you know. But we look at the nations and be like, "Oh, but they can do it. They having a good time wilding out. We can't wild out like that."
Right.
And basically, that's the curse of the law. You know what I'm saying? Where it's connected to our bloodline that we got to obey God or else.
Right.
And us not obeying, all it does is get us under the judgment of the other nations that we're supposed to be showing these nations about God. But instead, they whooping our butt, got us cleaning up.
Following them.
Yeah, and we following them. And we cleaning up they mess, being they servants.
Yeah. Exactly. I got on my amethyst. Somebody asked me what I'm wearing around my neck. Amethyst. I said, when you coming out, I got to put on some amethyst for you, bro.
You know, I want to ask a question. When you speak of, you know, Elohims and different things that way, are these extraterrestrials you're talking about?
I mean, you could interpret them as extraterrestrials. They're not from the earth, so they are extraterrestrials.
Okay.
But they're not like physical beings on spaceships made with wrenches and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like them wheels they were seeing and them celestial beings, they some like shapeshifting and fly through the universe super being type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Extra dimensional type of manifest in a human form, you know what I'm saying? Shapeshift, turn into something, jumping. They, you know, it's basically they on some
well, you know,
beyond our physical realm.
Comprehension.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that particular concept is only 6,000 years old. So the whole concept of just the word these beings or mighty beings or beings falling from Nephilim, falling down, right? The Nephilim, Hebrew word. When you read those words,
How you know how old the earth is?
Well, it could be It's called carbon radio dating.
You know the half-life of carbon? It's 5,730. They found the T-Rex said it's 70 million years old. That's no way possible. It's no way possible.
You can't
the
say
half-life
that.
of carbon.
You can't say that.
Google the half-life of carbon. It's no way for blood to a carbon atom to last 70 million years.
So hold on.
If the carbon atom is cut in half
We're talking
after
about carbon though. We're talking about
so carbon dating can't work.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. No. For
finish
both
what
of
I'm
y'all. No. You got to let him talk, and then you can't cut him off
ain't
too
finished what I was
soon.
saying though.
But
I wasn't finished what I was saying.
You can't cut him off though either though.
No, because I was saying, how long do you know how? And then he said carbon dating, which is false. But
All
then
right, hold on,
eventually
hold on,
it's going to get to the
hold on.
geologic column,
Hold on.
where you got to go by the geologic column and rock layers. But see, the geologic column is not millions of years old. They choose to believe the geologic column is millions of years old, but actually the geologic column was made in 1 year in the flood 4,000 something years ago. So the whole millions of years they packing into the geologic column.
Let him finish.
The whole millions of years they packing in the geologic column is false. That didn't come in all the multiple millions of years like they said. That's why you got like stuff like fossilized trees to go through the whole geologic column. So did it take millions of years for that tree to get buried, or did all those layers come at the same time to bury that tree? They had to come at the same time. The rest of the tree would have been dust in millions of years before the layers in the geologic column got up high enough. When Mount St. Helens erupted, they saw a minor imitation of the geologic column. So really the geologic column is from a cataclysmic event that destroyed the whole world, and it's similar to like a volcano eruption with a bunch of water and stuff pouring out over stuff, and then that's what produced all that oil and coal and stuff in the earth that they say is millions of years old and all that stuff. That stuff is from the flood. When we using fossil fuels, we running our energy off of everything that died in the flood when God killed everything that year back in the days with Noah. And those things all got buried real quick by the waters and mud and crushed, and that's what made them into the oil and stuff. Not no millions and millions of years of a geologic column. Like I tried to tell the other dude, they got a trilobite they found in one layer of the geologic column, and then his antennas and eye stalks go up into a whole nother layer, which is supposed to be millions of years from this. How can that be? Or how can this tree, a petrified tree, go through all these millions of years of layers in the geologic column? It's because the geologic column was produced in one cataclysmic event, but people become willingly ignorant when they reject what God has revealed in the scriptures, and then they try to come into the answer of the age of the earth and all that without it. Same thing with the universe. They say the universe 12 billion years old, but God said he made light the first day. He made the sun, moon, and the stars the fourth day. So you can't determine the age of the universe based on light coming from the sun and moon and the stars, because he put light in the universe before he made the sun and the moon.
First and foremost,
now, they look at the light in the universe and say it took billions of years from the light to go from here to there. No, it didn't. He put that light there before he even made sun and moon and the stars.
Right.
So it didn't take billions. Just like Adam. If somebody would have seen Adam the first day God made him, they would have thought Adam been around 20, 30 years. Who knows how old he looked?
Right.
But he was only 1 day old because he made him grown. He didn't make him having to become a grown up. He didn't make a baby Adam. He didn't make a baby universe. He made a full grown universe.
Right. So okay. So Sue, what you was gonna say?
First and foremost, we wasn't even talking about that. We were discussing the Elohims.
But
and
you said that
Anunnaki.
concept is 6,000 years old.
It's
And then I
6,000 years old according to the Torah.
And I said, how do you know the age of
Because they say the Torah
Yeah.
is 6,000 years old.
Nah, it's not.
Okay, so
No,
you
the
don't.
the
you
Torah.
hold. Let me finish what I'm saying, brother. The religious people, the theologians, the people who
No, they say the earth is around 6,000.
No, we're not talking about that.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Torah.
Yeah, the Torah
That's what I'm
was
dealing
written
with.
by Moses leaving
All right,
Egypt.
fine.
Moses didn't leave Egypt 6,000 years ago. Moses left Egypt
Listen.
like 3,400 years
I want
ago.
to slow it down, brother,
Yeah.
so we can get everybody can understand where I'm coming from with all this. All right. So you have the Torah. The Torah is 6,000 years old.
No, it's not.
According to theologians.
It can't be, bro.
This is what the Jews.
Moses was 1,400 years before Jesus, which is 2,000 years
that's
ago.
Egyptian,
That's 3,400.
That's Egyptian history. It has nothing to do with the Torah.
Who wrote the Torah?
Who wrote the Torah?
Yeah.
It would be
Moses.
All right.
Moses
He
wasn't
came-
6,000
he came
years ago.
According to religion.
Hold on.
According to religion.
Moses.
You're using a
That was
religious
dope.
book.
That was dope right there. Y'all both said
You're
Moses.
using a religious book,
Nah,
brother.
you're not getting what you're doing.
No, hold on. You gotta
You're
let
not
me
getting what
finish.
you're doing.
I got a noise
You gotta let me
complaint
finish.
last time. I got a noise
Yeah. You're not getting what you're doing.
You gotta let me finish, brother.
Moses came.
Hold on.
Moses.
we gotta calm it down, though.
Moses
No yelling.
wrote the Torah around 3,400 years ago.
I got you.
Not
Huh?
6,000 years ago.
No
All
yelling,
right.
no yelling, no yelling.
Hold
Yo,
on.
let's talk it out.
Around
That's what I was talking
3,400
about
years ago.
earlier.
6,000 years ago would be like when God made Adam.
Okay.
That's
so
not when the Torah.
the
was
point I'm
written.
making is this.
Quietly.
According to theologians, don't cut me off because let me make my
just
point,
talk it out, though.
and then you can say what you're going to say. According to them, that book, theologians, Jews, Muslims, and Christians, they date their book back 6,000 years.
Well, I have to just straight up say you're lying.
No,
It's
I'm not lying.
that's not a
I'm
fact.
not lying. I'm not lying. The Jews say that.
No.
Or if you could say
Okay, keep
4,000,
going. Keep
4,000,
Keep
6,000.
No
going.
yelling, no yelling, yo.
Keep
Y'all
going.
just talk it out, please.
Listen,
Let's talk like
4,000.
reasonable people.
Listen,
ago was
let me say it.
Jesus?
Listen,
Even
man,
if we
we're not
disagree, we got to
talking-
learn how to talk to each other, yo.
Listen.
Let's
Let
talk.
me finish what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No emotions.
Let me finish what I'm saying. Okay, according to them,
Not according to them.
whatever
According to
theologians, not me. I don't subscribe to the Quran, the Bible, or any of those books. I'm just saying what they say. So when you start to talk about Anunnakis or Elohims, the point I'm trying to make is that okay, the concept of the Elohim or the or that concept goes back before the Torah. Okay, because it comes out of Babylon, Shinar. It comes out of Sumer, in order. You know what I'm saying? So I'm asking really about the extraterrestrials. I'm not really talking about gene pools and all that. That's another question I have. Okay? So here's what I'm saying. If you're going to use the Torah, right, to justify things coming from an older civilization before Abraham, or whomever, right? You have to explain who these individuals are from the stars, these Anunnakis, these Elohims, these words of these, because I agree with you that obviously the book is talking about individuals coming here prior to us creating us. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm explaining. Because that book to me is not an old book. It's not the oldest. We cannot use that book as it being old. Because here's the thing.
It's old.
It's not the oldest.
It's not the oldest.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Now, going back to Musa
But
or
you also
Moshe,
remember, he's the guest.
I know,
So
I know.
have to let
We're
him talk to
building.
him.
Going back to Musa, Moshe, whatever word they want to use, right?
Mm-hmm.
When dealing with that, there is no real evidence of the biblical interpretation or the Hebrew interpretation of Moses or Moshe or Moses, only according to the Torah. But you do find the word child in Egypt, mos meaning child. That's where that word comes from. So when we try to go and find the body of Moses, or we go to try to find individuals that existed back then, we cannot find the body of Moses. There is no mummy found of Moses. We cannot go there and look at Moses, but we can go and look at Ramses II, though. We can go and look at King Thothmoses III. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that the concepts in the Torah, the Synoptic Gospels, the Bible called the Biblos, which means a little book, by the way, to let everybody, that's what that means. And in all of it comes from something prior before that. So the individual or the God in the Bible or the gods in the Bible, where do you think they came from? That's what I want to know. Because we have to remove.
Back to,
you said what you said.
To Moses. The Bible wasn't written 6,000 years ago. According to the Bible, the creation of everything is around 6,000 years ago. And then Moses came around 1400, 1200 BC, would be around 32 to 3,400 years ago. And at that time, it was already books. It was already nations in existence. Israel wasn't a nation yet, but Egypt was the top nation on earth at the time. And it had been a few different nations over there, like you said, and Babel, were Akkad and Shinar, and, you know, the Sumerians and all that. Now, these ancient cultures have dealings with gods, with celestial beings that they talk about like they was regular, like normal, but they wasn't normal humans. But they wasn't earth type of people. They were more powerful than people. They said they didn't come from this world, and they came here and they taught people stuff, and some of them even bred with people and changed the human gene pool. Now, the thing is, when you get to Moses, when Moses came, I mean, when God called Abraham, we go before Moses. When God called Abraham out of the land of Shinar or Iraq or Samaria, and Abraham moved into the land of Canaan and then went down to Egypt, then came back up into Canaan. At that time, almost everybody was pagan. God specifically chose Abraham to speak to him, to teach him the truth, and made him a promise about his descendants, and told him his descendants was going to be in a land not their own for 400 years and be enslaved. And then it went into the prophecy about the sin of the Amorites, and these are a type of Canaanite. And so that whole 400 years went by, and Moses came and led the children of Israel out of Egypt and into the land of Canaan. And Moses got direct revelation from God to do that to the children of Israel and to teach them about God and to not follow the gods of the nations, who he didn't say wasn't real, but he said they wasn't the most high God, and how God specifically chose Israel to be the specific people that he reveals himself to, because he allowed angelic beings to govern the nations, like even Satan. You know what I'm saying? In the New Testament, when Jesus is talking about Satan in John chapter 14, he called Satan the prince of this world. In the book of Daniel, when an angel's coming to give Daniel an interpretation of a prophecy, the angel comes and talks to Daniel. He said, I was sent 21 days ago, but the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me. He's talking about a celestial being, angelic prince. So it's angelic princes actually that rule over humans, and humans have worshipped these beings as gods from the nations. But Israel specifically was told not to worship these beings as gods, but actually to worship the Most High God, who even made those beings, and to teach the rest of the world about God. But Israel liked all the freaky stuff that the other nations was doing to serve their gods, so Israel started doing that, and God told Israel by Moses when he brought Israel out of slavery. He said, I chose you to make you my special people, to give you my direct instructions. No nation on earth has experienced this. The whole, like, millions of Israelites heard God speak the 10 Commandments out loud, and Moses got them from God written in the tablets of stone. When all these millions of people heard God speak out loud, God told them, look, no nation on earth, like when he repeated it in Deuteronomy, he said, what other people on earth has heard God speak to their whole nation out loud from the fire up in the sky on the top of the mountain? And it was like, nobody. So you keep these commandments and you do them. But if you don't keep these commandments and do them and do all this stuff I told you to, then I'm going to put my curse on you. And this curse is going to be upon you and your descendants forever, that you will be oppressed and crushed continually, scattered to the nations of the earth. And all of these nations are going to have you in slavery. You're going to be in captivity, sold and bought, beaten, killed, and go through all this stuff because you didn't follow the commandments that I delivered you through my servant Moses when I brought you out of slavery that first time. So the moral of the story of the scriptures is for the Israelites to eventually learn to keep God's commandments. But because of man's sinful nature, people don't want to keep God's commandments. People want to be on one. So God said, okay, I'm going to make a way, and my word made flesh is going to come and take the penalty for your transgressions so you could get a clean slate, because God divorced his people, and God don't permit you to be remarried after you get divorced. To like I said, if a woman marry a man and then she go marry another while her other husband is still alive, it's adultery. God couldn't even remarry his own people based on his own standards. So through the Messiah dying for us and the penalty for sin being death, because the wages of sin is death. We live in a cause and effect universe. God is the author of life. You do against God's instructions, then you will die. But die doesn't mean what people think. People think die means cease to exist. Death is actually, once you've started existing, is God cutting you off from his life. So you got beings that's walking dead right now. You got celestial walking dead, and you got terrestrial human walking deads. But see, the human walking deads is the natural state of humanity, where humans got to be transformed to be born again with the heavenly spirit, even though they in the human form, where the celestials, once they rebelled against God, there's no get back for them. So you got celestial walking dead, human, earthly walking dead, and it really what's going on. I really want to get back to the DNA, but it's all about the children of Israel eventually learning to obey God, and through the Messiah, Yeshua, paying for our sins, that we can start keeping the Torah, so He can rescue us from these Gentiles again, just like He rescued us from Egypt in the old days. That was a trial run of what happens in Revelations. Like the Bible, it repeats itself over and over. It starts off with Egypt, then it goes to Assyria, then it goes to Babylon, then it goes to Persia, then it goes to Greece, then it goes to Rome, then it's the divided Rome. That's where we are right now. That's the 7 heads and the 10 horns all added up right there. And the gods of those 7 heads and 10 horns are not the Most High God, but each one of those kingdoms has enslaved the people of God each time. And then what we do every time, we call on God, pray. He raise up us some prophet or some judge or something, and He deliver us from the captivity of the Gentiles, and we repent, and He deliver us from captivity. So the same thing gonna happen right now. Enough of the people are gonna realize who they really are and why we've gone into captivity to all these different nations, and repent and start keeping that Torah. And by the new covenant that we have through the Messiah, Yeshua, He writes His law on our heart through His Spirit. So now the law is in you, in your heart and in your mind, so you could do it. So when enough of us have it in our heart and in our mind, and we start really following the Torah through the Mashiach, Yeshua, then He's going to come back and rescue us from these nations and bring judgment on them, just like He brought judgment on the Gentiles back in the days. And that's the whole, what Revelations and stuff is about. When you see Him judging the nations and all these plagues and judgments and meteors and all this stuff hitting them and hailstones and all that, that's when we wake up and come out of these nations. And He said He going to bring us out with a mighty hand, with a mighty arm, with strength and power. And He said the same thing when He brought us up out of Egypt, meaning all them plagues and stuff that's going on in Revelations is the people of the world being punished for what they did to the children of Israel, like the Egyptians. So wherever we've been enslaved in this world, this time they're getting those plagues and judgments. When we come, that's what the stuff in Revelation is about. Like a lot of people don't even know what that stuff is about. They think God just judged them. He said, all who lead into captivity will go into captivity. This is the patience and faith of the saints. So because the saints have been led into captivity and been killed with the sword, He said the same stuff is going to happen to the Gentiles. And He said, this is Jacob's trouble. He said, when he brings the end of Jacob's trouble, He said, foreigners will no more enslave them. So we still in Jacob's trouble, and we still under the dominion of some foreigners right now. But all of that is about to change, because we in a time where it's a serious revival going on, where like them Sunday churches always say they have revivals, but they never really having revivals, because they not getting revived because they never start following God's commandments. They having a show of a bunch of religious, basically European paganism disguised as being biblical, because He said we got to turn to following what He delivered us by Moses to get delivered from this captivity. But we still following what we got from Rome. We still following what we got from England and Germany and all that. And in all these Christian churches and all that claim to be following God, you just open up the Bible, you can't find none of the stuff they doing in the scriptures. It tells you the real holy days that are based on the sun, moon, and the stars, and they don't change. They're a part of creation. When it's like it tells you New Year in the Bible is spring. Moses says New Year is spring. You judge New Year by the equinox in spring. And the first new moon after the equinox is the first month of that year. Right. And they counting by January 1st based on Pope Gregory. Well, according to the Bible, Rome is the beast in Babylon.
It's the Gregorian calendar comes from the Julian calendar.
So the Gregorian calendar is the calendar of the beast.
You say what again? Sorry.
If Rome is the fourth beast, and the Gregorian calendar comes from the
Actually, I have to keep it. I'm letting you speak, but actually, that I have to say this: that the oldest calendar is in Egypt. The oldest calendar has been written 35,000 years ago in Egypt.
I don't believe that, or that the world is 35 years old.
It's older. As human beings, Africans been on the planet for millions and millions and millions of years.
That's your opinion, but how could you prove it?
It's already been proven.
Prove it.
I don't have to prove it
That's
here.
That's the opinion.
You have to do the research, brother.
I've done the research, and there's no people was around millions of years ago.
No, because you're an African.
No yelling, man.
In fact, the genetic diversity, the genetic diversity of modern humans only could go back thousands.
Okay, so
let me say this to y'all. Let me just say this. we have to learn to talk to each other, even if we disagree. We don't have to yell at each other to get our point across. That's another. That I don't know where that started from. And we're gonna build on that later.
That's
but
right.
we have to learn to be kings. This is what I was talking about from the beginning. When we have a disagreement, talk it out. Everybody's not going to agree with everybody, but the thing is to come to some type of point. And you know what I'm saying, if you don't, just take your belief and you believe what you believe, you believe what you believe.
Exactly.
But at least as Black people on Black History Month, we can talk without yelling and screaming. You know what I'm saying? We get that from, that's another build. I'm gonna get that where that stemmed from. But let's talk with peace and let's be respectful to each other and let's drop out this knowledge. That's what I'm gonna say. And shout out to For Life NLB.
Hey, AD, I just shot you some information on the Horites. Like, this is an example. Modern science says the Neanderthals died out 40,000 years ago. I'm going to show that Neanderthals was in the Promised Land in the days of Moses, all the way to the days of David and them. 3,000 years ago. Now, according to science, Neanderthal caveman died out 40,000.
Right.
But it's a word in the Bible based on a group of people who lived at Mount Seir.
Okay.
Before Esau moved to Mount Seir. These people was called the Horites. I just sent him a link on the Horites. You know what I'm saying? If you could put it.
Yeah, it's on its way.
Okay. If you
Yeah, I shouted them out. AD, you could let it go up. Is it stuck? No, this is good. This is all about
I want
the
to
energy out.
Yeah, I want to use this as an example of how these scientists are saying that these Neanderthals was around. They died off 40,000 years ago, according to science or modern science. But that's according to scientific theory based on their dates. Could you? I can't even put the glasses on. See how it means caveman? But I don't know. For some reason, it might be different from the one I have up here. But look, I'm gonna read this.
What we watching? This is the Horites,
Yeah, Horite.
and
It means caveman.
okay, and
All right, go down and see what the name. Go down some. Does it break down the etymology? Oh, the name Horite in the Bible. Click on that. No, after that, see if that says it. Look, it says Horite, who was the son of Lotan, son of the famous Seir, the Horite. See, you heard of Mount Seir, where the hairy people live, right? So this is the mountain of the hairy caveman.
I'm reading them, guys. I'm gonna start looking at the chat.
Uh,
Go ahead.
so look, so Seir itself it means hairy or like a goat like type of hairy. So this guy, his name is Seir, right? And his descendants are called the Horites. They live. It means caveman, like he had up on the part earlier. But like this one said right here, it says it means outline of biblical usage: white bread, cake. Translation total: white bread. White. The names Hori and Horite have been explained to mean cave or cavern, hence the meaning of the name Horite. Both the BDB Theological Dictionary and NOBSE Study Bible name list read cave dweller. Jones' Dictionary of Old Testament Proper Names proposes a slightly more fanciful but similar troglodytes, which means a member of a people, especially in prehistoric times.
Troglodytes.
Inhabiting caves, caverns, or dens. So now, if we take this, that okay, it used to be a people in the Bible that they call a caveman, a Horite, a hairy white caveman. Now, science has genetically found that it's a DNA in like most of the nations from a Neanderthal that they say is a white hairy caveman. So then you got to say, okay, when did this guy exist? Because these dudes these eyewitnesses. They wrote about somebody they seen. Now, these scientists that say it's around 40,000 years ago,
Right.
they just dug up the bones and guessing that it's around 40,000 years ago.
Right.
But do they know it was 40,000 years ago? Nah. But I got somebody 3,500 years ago that say he saw him.
I always question the machines, you know.
Look, but you got eyewitnesses. You got eyewitnesses in the Bible said it was white hairy cavemen at Mount Seir 3,500 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at Genesis,
And this is how is this tying up with the Nephilims?
yeah, yeah. See, Seir don't come from Adam, just like Anak. He doesn't come from Adam. That's a lineage that doesn't come from Adam. You know how in the Bible it gives you the lineages of people. The lineages of Seir, the caveman, it doesn't come from Adam. And the lineage of Anak, the giant blonde Aryan Superman, it doesn't come from Adam.
So what does Nephilim stand for? What does it mean?
It means fallen ones.
Okay, fallen ones.
They're the children of angels. They were born from fallen angels and human women. That's like what it talk about in Genesis 6, where the Bene Elohim came into the daughters of Adam. See, what it calls the human race in the Bible is Adam. So it was non-Adamic people from outer space, from heaven somewhere, came down to the earth and started having sex with humans and made different kinds of people. And some of them was crazy, vicious people eaters. The Horites ate people. The caveman Neanderthal, he was a cannibal. The giants, they ate people. They ate.
That's me, yeah.
You know, and you know, you're pointing out a lot of factors dealing with that book, though. That book. Because the Bible, he's pointing out a lot of stuff that some of you probably look over. But the reality of it is this. You're still talking about beings coming from another planet, eating people.
No.
In the
they're
scientific, listen
children.
to me, in the scientific world, and when we go to present evidence and different things of this nature, you know, this in some ways is one of the reasons why I don't consider myself a religious individual anymore. Because of these kinds of conversations. Because when we start to talk about extraterrestrials, which the Bible is talking about, literally, when you use words like Elohim, Nephilim, Gibor, Gibberim, Seraphim, Sarif, whatever, it's all talking about some mysterious beings. So my whole,
well, it's talking about celestial beings.
Yeah, but see, these things that we're talking about is on another level of thinking. It's more theoretical. We was talking about this the other day. We had an astronomer on the show.
It's theoretical to you.
Listen.
Yeah, Rasul, let me say something.
This is opinion.
If that's the way, I'm gonna be honest with you. No, if that's the way you feel, because
it's only theoretical because what happens is this. Mm-hmm. Don't jump on me, man.
I'm not gonna jump on you.
When you start to go out here and talk to intellectual people, scientists, astronomers, even astronomers, it's not about belief though. We have to. We can't just use these concepts.
Look, what I'm trying to do is bring the connection
let
to
me finish what I'm saying.
Yeah,
the genetics.
Let this brother speak because you can talk all the time. That's what I'm saying.
trying to bring the connection to the genetics and what the stuff in the Bible was talking about, and using genetics available right now to say, hey, look, that's that.
Right.
Are you saying the genetics you're talking about is extraterrestrial DNA?
It depends on what you consider extraterrestrial. We just read it and put it up there that it's 100,000 genes in the human gene pool.
We know that.
Yeah.
This is public information. No one's disagreeing with you on
and so
that.
this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to put public information that's up for everybody to see that this information is factual. Then I'm going to Bible stuff and saying, now look, wasn't this what the Bible was already talking about before they just discovered this in the 21st century?
Let them do that.
But it's like I came on here to do this. If you want to have your own show, you can come on another time and do that.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to get a whole bunch of stuff out. I told a whole bunch of people to watch this. You know what I'm saying?
Do it.
But if you know what I'm saying, if you want to.
Nah, this is not about. This is what you bring it out, bro. Bring out your information. This is good.
Look, this is from Israel about Neanderthals, from what they found about. It says, wait, now I lost the spot. Where'd it go? I want to read that one too. Okay, here's one. This is from Live Science. Neanderthals suffered periods of starvation and may have supplemented their diet through cannibalism, according to a study of remains from northwest Spain. I would say this practice was general among Neanderthals, and there's multiple publications of this. The Neanderthals were cannibals. Now, this is from livescience.com. Neanderthals, cannibals, study confirms. You could Google it, but this is another one. This is from Haaretz, from Israel, the newspaper in Israel. Humans and Neanderthals lived in ancient Israel at the same time and is likely the place of first contact. The discovery also suggests that it was here that humans created history's first melting pot when they encountered Neanderthals. the other hominid species that inhabited the earth at the time of the last ice age. What's for sure about the two species, they existed in this area at about the same time. Now, they try to say this was 40,000 years ago, but I'm saying Moses and them writing about it 3,500 years ago.
Right. So where you okay.
They said when they went
That's
into the
crazy.
promised land 3,500 years ago that it was Nephilim in the land, and they wrote about different ones. So I'm saying what modern science is trying to say is some Neanderthal and Cro-Magnon and Denisovan from 30, 40,000 years, 100, 200,000. No, that was Moses and them seeing the exact same stuff. David and them seeing the exact same stuff, and that wasn't no 40,000 years. That was 3,000 something years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like David was around 1000 BC. Moses, you know what I'm saying, was around 1400 BC,
Right.
something like that.
Right.
So they were still alive then. You know what I'm saying? And you look at the amount of the DNA in them now. Like say for
Interesting.
the average European has 2 to 4% Neanderthal DNA. Well, the average Jew has 2 to 4% E1B1A Hebrew DNA. So how long did it take them to get that down to 2 to 4%? They say only 2,000 years. So how they gonna have 2 to 4% of Neanderthal DNA after 40,000 years?
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Look.
Yeah, I feel you.
Look, right here. It says, as for the genes for light eyes, there is a relative high likelihood they were inherited from Neanderthal also, rather than having emerged independently in Europeans fairly recently. So a lot of the genes that they used to say this evolved, different color eyes. Now, no, it came from mixing.
So, yeah. So basically, it's like everything that they taught us was all lies.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty
I
much.
think they know that it's lies at the top, but I think that on the low level, they don't know. Because I mean, if you just turn over the dollar bill and look at the pyramid on the back, they got the eyeball floating on top of it, but the rest of the pyramid down there, is disconnected. So you got different people on different levels of info. Like, you got, I mean, I don't want to get into conspiracy theories and stuff with these secret societies, but you got some of them that's supposed to be eating pineal glands and talking to celestial beings tripping off a pineal gland, and that's the highest level will go into the secret society stuff.
Yeah.
But like the secret society dude told me, already, Kris, everything you're saying is true, but don't nobody believe you, so you cool. If you ever get a lot of people to listen to
Like a
you,
movie.
your life is in danger. This is what he told me. The white dude told me they know they come from giants, but not all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow! So the white people come from giants.
No,
Okay.
the white DNA in
The white
them.
DM.
Everybody
okay.
was originally
So,
black.
Micro. Okay.
Everybody was
Gotcha.
originally black.
Right. Got you.
Celestials had sex with it. Oh, here's another one. I should send this to him to put on. About this is science saying. It's saying that the ancient humans had sex with a mystery species. What it begins to suggest is that we're looking at a Lord of the Rings type of world that were many humanid populations. So back in the days was like Lord of the Rings for real. But I'm gonna send this to you.
That
AB.
makes sense. I believe that more than the Star Wars theory for sure. You know what I'm saying? I always thought life was like Star Wars. Then I realized, nah, it's more like Lord of the Rings because we've had dwarfs, we've had giants.
Hobbits. They found an island of hobbit-like type people.
Well, we have cartoons. You know what I'm saying? We look at little animals on cartoons that talk. They have, you know what I'm saying, since we was little. So
I just sent you the article about the humans having sex with the mystery species and how the ancient world was like Lord of the Rings.
Email?
I just texted it to you.
I got it.
And then the other one I want to go right after that is the
you can't put nothing past what's going on with this cat right here on a celestial level, on a low level. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the government. You know what I'm saying? You never know what they planning, what they know. They probably knew about COVID long time.
Well, they did
before.
know, but it's just
Yeah.
19. It's just a new version. But that, like they say, that could have come from eating bats. God said, "Don't eat bats." It's in the Torah, Leviticus 11. So,
Eating bats.
if you do, a lot of the sickness and disease in the world is coming from going against the Torah.
Bats, what they put with
Man ain't
kale.
supposed to have sex with man. Man ain't supposed to eat bat. Look at all these diseases that came from pigs. Swine flu and all these different flus. A lot of flus, they come through pigs and they get to people. You know what I'm saying?
And we take on these plagues if you trying to be like them.
No, don't even mention where a gang of STDs come from. They done found certain STDs come from Neanderthals because it's a certain, what's it, HPV? It does not, it didn't start in Africans. It came from people leaving Africa having sex with other humans somewhere else. But HPV comes from Neanderthals. But some of them sexually transmitted diseases come from having sex with animals. You know what I'm saying? People having sex with sheep and goats then produced a lot of the ancient humans have sex with mystery species, but a lot of the sexual...
Yeah, the Gozi's going to come on next. He's going to come on the next time. Somebody asked. Yeah.
Okay, you want me to bring this up on screen?
Oh yeah, I just wanted people to see that where it's
Well,
according to DNA,
according
according to DNA studies,
glasses hanging like this.
they saying that it's
this type of music, this type of knowledge. I have to put my glasses on my nose.
You look like Whoopi Goldberg with that.
Yeah. Please have the.
yeah, but it's
We're
saying
getting deep now, so let me put my glasses low.
But that article right there says based on DNA, what we're dealing with is the ancient world was like a Lord of the Rings type of world. I want to shoot you a video. It's a video of a scientist going into DNA about how everybody, even like Aborigine Australians, they're mixed. That's why they have that different kind of look. Like, have you noticed they have brow ridges, like big eyebrows? That comes from Neanderthals and Denisovans. And they said that Neanderthals is mixed with Denisovans.
And the Denis. Who is that? Explain that.
The Denisovan is another type of non-human that bred with modern humans that they found. So, but they found there's different types of non-humans that are bred with modern humans. One of them is the Denisovans. And so the Denisovans and Neanderthals, they don't classify as humans. They classify Cro-Magnons as humans, but they like superhumans. They real big and giant. But that's really the Aryan Superman, the giant blonde dudes that they be talking about.
Right. Superman, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, the giant blondes that the Nazis was talking about are Nephilim.
Wow.
Yeah, they was like researching giant stuff. Like they're trying to find out about the big giant blonde super white man. The big giant blonde super white man is the Anakim. I got a description of him from some dudes describing in an Egyptian temple. It says
we got 222 up there. Shout out to everybody who hit that subscribe button, and make sure y'all hit that super chat so we can replace this. We need it's retrograde, so we broke our tea. You know, I would have served everybody tea today, but it's crazy. Yeah.
Hey, look, it said right here, a design from the interior of the great temple of Abu Simbel furnishes yet another proof. Presented at a meeting of the Syrio-Egyptian Society in May 1856, it depicted the king contending with two men of large stature, light complexion.
Let me see the photo of that.
Scanty beard, having a remarkable load of hair pendant from the side of the head. Other representations of the same...
Does it have a photo?
Nuh-uh. It's just describing them. Other representations of the same tall people were seen at the royal tombs of Biban el-Muluk, at Medina Tabu, at Karnak, and at the tomb of Oymen-Ptah I, which Belzoni opened. On the wall of the later tomb, Belzoni found a picture representing a son of the Anak. He is depicted as a tall, light complexion. The hieroglyphic inscription, Belzoni read his name as Tamahu, or by the name Elysion Talmia, the name given to one of the tribes of the children of Anak. So the Egyptian Tamahu is a Nephilim.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well,
the Tamahu is a Nephilim. So look,
hold on. Go ahead.
The above mentioned inscription gives us some idea of what the Anakim looked like. So according to the Egyptians, the Tamahu was a type of Anakim, the sons of the Anak. The Anakim looked like blonde giants without much beard, with their hair done up in such a way as to seem somehow suspended, a fashion similar to the pan-like hairstyle of the fair-skinned, fair-headed, necklace-wearing Celtic giants which later dominated much of Europe. Such was the physical appearance of the giants that the spies saw when they entered Hebron. So they were spooked because they seen giant white people.
Yeah, hold on though. Let me keep it real with you, yo. You can't use something from Abu Simbel or anything from the Kemetic culture to describe anything Hebrew, fam. Because
why not?
Why? Because you got a book. You ain't got nothing written in stone. You know how old Abu Simbel is? pull up how old our symbol is.
What does
AD.
that have to do with the point?
It has to do with the point is
the European.
the point is that-
European who went into that temple saw some people drawn on the wall when they broke down the hieroglyphics of the name of these people. They found that these were the same people.
You're going off a Eurocentric ideology, brother. You can't do that.
How do you know?
You can't
How do you
use
know
that.
it's wrong? How do you,
First of all,
explain
because
it.
I'll explain why. You cannot go into Africa and use Africa and go in and use a Eurocentric ideology as an Israelite. Here's the thing. Hold on. As an Israelite, and then try to define what the Stila or text is actually saying.
Why not?
You can't.
Why not?
Because
based
none
on
of the
what
people,
you say.
No, none of the people
Your
in
opinion
Africa.
don't mean I can't
Hold
do
on,
that.
Not because I said
I'm
it.
doing it now.
Hold on.
So I
You're
can do
doing
it.
You're
I
doing
am doing it.
But that's wrong.
No,
though.
it's not
You
wrong.
can't.
That's
can't do
your
that.
understanding. Listen, if a white man, Indiana Jones, breaks into a temple and he says, "Hey, look, I seen a picture."
can't-
Hold up,
Go ahead.
Yeah, and he said, "I seen a picture in there of giant white people around a whole bunch of black people, and the name that it calls those white people is Anak." Hey, that's the same thing the Bible calls giants. Now you telling me I
but
can't
you're
use
using
that?
the text. You're
Nah,
using the text.
whatever, bro. Your
That's
opinion
not-
is irrelevant.
Hold
bro.
on.
You just telling me based on your opinion, I can't
Nah,
use a
it's not my
certain
opinion,
information.
yo.
Yeah, you did.
Yes,
you
it's not
told
my
him.
opinion.
You told him
You
that
just-
he can't do something.
No.
You
I
just-
told you you can't do something because you can't use Eurocentric ideology on African culture. You have to go to the
So
people.
you saying a white man
Not
couldn't have
me.
been? So you saying I could only
Yes,
go to the
the-
temple myself and look?
Yeah.
I
Actually,
can't
you
go by
can-
a white guy
you
who
can
lived
go
in the
there.
temple.
You can go there
because
with
the white
other-
guy
hold
has
on,
to be
hold on,
lying.
hold on.
Why is the white guy trying to make the white people the Nephilim?
Because-
and saying that, and
Here's
if you read,
go ahead,
Have you
go ahead.
read the guy who first went into the temple who talked about the Tamahu?
Yes. I understand. I
This is a
know you.
white
I know
guy.
what you're talking about. That's why I
No
came
yelling.
in. That's
No
why I
yelling.
came
Hold
in.
up.
That's why I
Listen,
came in.
Listen, this is the French dude Champollion
Champollion, go ahead.
Who
You
Use
use
who
Champollion, bro.
first wrote about the Tamahu. He said that when he went into the temple, he said right here, he said, finally, the
Everybody
last
uses
one,
that.
the last one we call flesh colored, a white skin of the most delicate shade, a nose straight or slightly arched, blue eyes, blonde or reddish beard, tall stature, very slender cloud, and a hairy ox skin, a veritable savage, tattooed. To see my article on European goths on various parts of his body. He is called Tamahu. I hasten to seek the tablet corresponding to this one in the fact of the royal tombs, as a matter of fact, I found in several that the variation I observed fully convinced
You're
me
using
that,
his-
hold up, bro. Fully convinced me. See,
Listen,
that's
that's
why
what we talking about. Yeah,
that's why
listen.
I'm talking about.
Listen,
I don't
listen,
need to-
listen,
I don't
no.
need to have him next to
Yeah,
me when I'm on
listen,
the show, bro.
listen. See,
because
that's what I'm
he gonna
saying.
keep on doing this stuff.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying about
Hey,
getting
Brent, let Jim
emotional.
get over
Yeah,
here and get
I'm gonna
on.
let you get on. But see, this is what
Listen, bro, you can't tell me what
But
I
you
can
can't
get
do
your
it.
source of information, bro.
you can't.
Listen,
Yeah,
bro, you're
look.
speaking English,
Yeah.
a language that came
We're
from
all
some white
speaking
people.
English.
So sit around, learn the language of another people first, and start trying to
See?
communicate to me in that.
All right.
Because based on your
So-
own logic,
so-
you shouldn't try to communicate information to me in English.
Yeah,
based on your own logic.
exactly.
You're
You trying to
communicating to me in a
you
white
can't
man's
contr-
language.
Yeah.
So based on your own logic,
can't
why
contr-
are you trying to talk to me in English about any knowledge?
Well, all
Based
I'm
on your
saying
logic.
is
But
you're
you
not
don't know.
using.
See?
You're not using
you-
the African.
Listen.
You're using Eurocentric.
You've been to Africa.
You're
Eurocentric-
speaking a Eurocentric language.
Listen,
When
you
when
gotta-
talking
yelling.
about Africa, I
But you
read
can't-
African.
but you
I read
can't
the
tell
white
them.
people stuff and I read the African stuff
yeah,
too.
but
Are you speaking
you
English?
need to.
Are you speaking English?
Everybody's speaking English, brother.
So, based on your own
All I'm
reasoning,
saying is-
you can't talk to me about
You
this
can't
stuff
tell him what
because-
he can't
because
do,
you're
bro.
using English
You can't do
based
that.
on your reasoning. That's not my reasoning,
you-
but based on your logic,
you-
because you're speaking a white man's language, how can you
All right,
communicate
so
any
here's the
truth to
thing.
me?
Here's the thing.
How
Let me
can
say-
you communicate truth to
I'm-
me using a white man's
Hold on.
language
Listen,
based on
let
your
me
reasoning?
explain that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to switch
right now.
out, man, and let the other brother come
Hold on,
in,
let me
bro.
before I go off,
All
let me
right,
explain myself,
explain,
man. Don't let
explain
me just walk off here like I ain't explaining myself, bro.
Explain it.
So hold on. All I'm saying is, my brother, if you're an Israelite, and then you're gonna talk about Africa and Egypt, also read the African sources too. Don't always use
That's not what you were
Champollion.
saying.
No.
I wasn't even using Champollion at first.
Man,
I was
you're not
quoting
letting
somebody
me
else.
talk, yo. You not
Stop
letting me
yelling,
talk.
bro.
You were
Yo,
cutting-
listen, switch it
bro,
up, switch it up,
you're
because I
cutting
can't.
you're cutting me
Yo,
off,
switch it
telling
up,
me
switch
what
it up.
sources I could
No,
use.
go, bro,
Yeah,
bro,
you're
listen,
telling me what
listen,
sources
we
I could
can't.
use while you speaking English.
Yeah,
Yo,
listen.
you should use. All
Bro,
I'm
why
saying
ain't you
is
speaking to me in another
So,
language then?
so,
Why ain't you ain't teaching me in
come on,
ancient
so.
It's
Egyptian?
not even a point though.
Yeah, the point is, you just said I can't use a source of a white
I'm
man
saying
who
is-
went up in there, and I'm reading what a white man
Because
said.
that's their
So listen,
Eurocentric
don't-
ideology.
So listen, don't. This
He
is
can-
proving my point. This ain't proving the white
he's
man's
proving
point.
his
That's
point,
also
bro.
the white man's point though. You're using their
Maybe
points.
this white man was telling the truth.
You don't
Is
know
that
that.
impossible?
You don't know that.
He wasn't,
Do you
bro.
know?
You don't know. Yes,
Do you
I do
he
know.
wasn't?
Because a lot of that stuff been proven wrong.
So,
I'm not going to say that it wasn't
so is
extraterrestrials
the Tamahu,
from another
is
universe.
the
yo.
Tamahu white?
Yes,
calm
that's
it down,
that.
bro.
You're
Is the
correct
Tamahu
about
white?
that.
Talking
You're
about-
correct about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're correct about that. That's not what I'm
Where
saying.
did you get that information from?
About our
I
communication
got that
skills,
information not from him. I
You
got
did?
that from Dr. Ben.
Bro. We talk with
This
emotional-
white
from
man,
Paul- not
this
from-
white,
not
this
from that
white
guy.
man came with this in the 1800s before Dr. Ben, bro.
But Dr. Ben also studied with
and
Theodore
Dr.
Obenga
Ben
and all
said
of
the
them.
white man was right.
No,
Dr.
no,
Ben
no,
quotes
no.
this.
That information's
Man, get him
already
up outta
been
here, bro.
known.
He just want to
Alright,
be in
switch it up.
conflict, bro.
Alright, yeah, just
I'm
switch
not
it up.
trying to just do
Just switch it
conflict.
up.
I'm
Switch it
trying
up.
to spread knowledge,
Switch
bro.
it up.
Listen,
This brother-
so
that
he's
other
saying he
brother
can't
come
listen to knowledge that came from white people, but he listened to Dr. Ben, who quotes the same person I'm quoting. Does that even make sense?
Yeah,
Listen,
but you're
but this is
giving-
what I'm
listen,
talking
Dr.
about.
Ben quotes the same guy.
See,
yeah,
Dom-
you're right. But
Listen.
you're
He
giving a
just said
different
I'm right.
narrative. You're
He
giving a
just said
different
I'm
narrative,
He just said
though.
I'm right. So Dr. Ben can quote him,
the point
but
I'm
I
trying to
can't
make
quote
is
him
you're-
because
you're
you don't like what I'm
saying
Yeah,
saying.
both
saying
talking
these
at
are
the same time. We
extraterrestrials,
looking
yo.
like we looking like the like CNN.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
At the
bro,
White
I'm
House.
cool. It's like,
And it's
like
like
I don't need somebody next to me that's gonna
Right.
say I can't use my source based on your opinion. But then you just told me I should use Dr. Ben. Then when I said Dr. Ben used this source,
Yeah,
you
but-
agreed that Dr. Ben used the same
He
source.
used a source.
So don't
I
stop
tell
me
you-
from
listen,
using it.
Exactly. Listen, everybody's
stop me
entitled.
from using it.
Everybody's entitled. Let me say this: everybody's entitled to believe what they want to believe. You know what I'm saying? And they're entitled to spread the knowledge, whatever they know. And it's not. We can't just be jumping on each other back because we learned anything or we come bringing out information. We got to stop jumping on each other. We need to start talking and building with each other more because it may be some stuff that we don't know. I just spoke on brothers today on jumping on Christians. You know what I mean? It's just like, just don't jump on cats. Sometimes you just got to listen to
It was all
his.
for nothing because he told me the same dude. You quoted the same dude I'm quoting. So it's like, what was the point of all that?
Yeah, you're allowed to do whatever you want, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, and
I
look at
can't quote him,
everything.
but Dr. Ben can quote him. But I can't quote him when talking about the Nephilim, showing that the Tamahu was an Anakim.
You
Man,
can do
come
that.
on, get up out of here with that nonsense.
Why can't
I
can't
know
you?
I can. That's some nonsense. You're coming at me funny style. I ain't with that nonsense behavior. Bro, you don't know me like that. Shit huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just get on. I need to calm down. He telling me what I can talk about. They got on some grown man stuff.
Yeah, bro.
That shit off, bro.
Yeah,
It
you.
probably is a misunderstanding, though.
It was a misunderstanding.
You know,
Let me-
because
it was a
He tell me,
misunderstanding.
Dr. Ben can quote him, but I can't.
No,
You
it's
can't do
not
that.
It's not. It was the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was like this.
Mercury retrograde
Yeah, it's Mercury retrograde too.
will
but at the
often
same time,
create
but see, this is what I'm
misunderstandings.
talking about. You all right, brother? Come on.
Yeah, man,
on,
come back here, man.
Yeah.
It's all, we all building, yo.
Mercury retrograde will sometimes create conflict.
Yeah, let his man
Yeah,
come.
yeah,
Let his man come. Yeah, that's what it is.
Virgos, Capricorns,
Yeah.
Earth
Yeah.
signs,
Yeah,
steady.
he's, you know,
That's how it works.
Virgos. Yeah.
It's all to be
exactly, bro.
predicted.
Yeah, bro.
Thank you.
We on the set. Peace, brother. Peace. Yeah, no doubt. Yo, listen. See, this is what I was talking about. Oh yeah. What's your name again, bro?
I'm Jim Get 'em, brother.
Jim Get 'em. Yeah, Jim Peace to Jim Get 'em, bro. Why they over there building? And this is what I'm talking about. Of communicating. Righteous. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't agree with you. You know what I'm saying? If you go up into the courtroom, they're not going to agree with you, period. But brothers don't react like that and tell them what they can't and can't do. It's on over there. He met his sign match, right? The Virgo finally. Yo, Kris, what's your sign?
I don't believe in zodiac signs, but if I did, I'd be a Leo.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a Leo too. I'm a Leo too.
Yeah.
What?
So you thought he was
I
here?
thought you were a Capricorn.
He got that
I
fire.
don't believe in
That's
zodiac
that fire.
signs,
That's
but if
that.
I did, I would be a Leo.
I'm a Leo
I feel
too,
you.
brother. That's crazy.
The lion.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you were in August.
Yep.
Okay, that's all I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Okay, damn, my bad. I thought he was a
Yes.
Capricorn. He was a Leo. Damn. Two
Yo,
lions.
It's also, it's also retrograde. It's
That's the
at
main
least they
one.
went
Yeah,
over
yeah,
there.
yeah. Okay, continue. Introduce us to your guest.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Woo, boom, boom, boom. Hey, here goes my brother, Jim Get 'em. Man,
Jim Get 'em.
I met Jim Get 'em back in the days at Long Beach City, man.
Wow,
We was
yeah.
learning how to do it. Man, this at one time, this was the youngest brother on death row. This is how I first met man, Crooked Eye, Big C
crazy,
Style,
Oh, the whole
Beefy
Long
Love,
Beach.
all of them. He was over there. He was the
Yeah,
youngest dude on death row doing beats. This, one of the most talented producers and pianists that I know.
Appreciate that, bro.
Wow.
Appreciate it.
And my brother's with the knowledge too, man. He loves the Lord. He down with the Most High. He know who we are. Know why we
That's
going
dope.
through this stuff as a
That's
people.
dope.
He on the mission trying to help wake his people up. Yeah. So I
Student.
brought Jim Gaddam with me. Special guest.
Appreciate
Bring
you.
your brother
All right,
on,
Jim
and
Gaddam,
and
yeah.
also bring connects. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
everybody need to be networking and stuff.
Facts.
There you go. There you go.
Man.
All right. So, all right, bro.
Hey,
So,
I mean,
tell us the journey and where you at now with it.
Oh man, I'm just a student, bro. I'm just trying to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it's important for us to get the knowledge of who we really are. Clearly, whatever brothers was just up here talking about, the bottom line is we've been stripped of our knowledge of who we really are, and all of us is in search for that to know what the truth is. You know what I'm saying? That's the common denominator. Period. You know what I mean? Like our legacy has been stripped, and so it's just good to be able to have a conversation.
Right. Indeed.
About what the real is.
Indeed.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
How you spell your name?
JIM
So you was
Space.
the youngest?
GITTUM.
Good, bro. That's that Lions, man. Yeah, cool. Sue
Yeah,
over there, cool. So,
And producer, right?
Producer. I produce. Yep.
So that's what you go by as a title.
Jim Gillum. Yeah.
have you met Tupac?
I met Pac one time. The story with that was I used to play keys in the middle of the mall, man, as a teenager.
Oh.
And all kind of people coming to the Carson Mall. You know what I mean? Like everybody. And so one day a guy by the name of Tyrone came through there and invited me to Can-Am Studios. So I took my mom minivan at night and went all the way out to the studio, man, and it was amazing going in there and seeing Pac. I produced some songs on Pac after Rest in Peace, though. Yeah, I mean,
That's fire, bro. That's fire. So you just been you've been studying, you been getting into the knowledge.
Studying.
Well, I know you with this brother, yeah.
Oh yeah. I think Chris said something. No, God's just waking up people. You know what I mean? Like He waking us up to know who we really are. There's, it gets real iffy. Clearly, you know what I mean, when you start saying what you say. People, it gets because there's theories of it. You know what I mean? But the truth is, man, I believe what happened with Abraham. God told him. He said, 400 years. You know what I mean? And when we do history, we was brought over here for 400 years. And the 400 years is pretty much up. You know what I'm saying? So now all of a sudden we're starting to have this new narrative of black appreciation in this country and stuff like that. And then in regards to the Nephilim, I mean, I believe in that book too. You know what I mean? I believe that is truth. I believe that the Bible is the most blackest book that could ever been written. When you really do the research, it's no such thing as it being a white man religion. It's it really tells you who we are. And like he said too, he said that all people, have the benefit of salvation and all that, and I believe that as well. But in regards to like race and who we are, well, actually, there's no such thing. It's only one race. It's the human race. But we all can benefit off of it. But to be told for all these for thousands of years, that they've been trying to strip us of the legacy.
Yeah, and there's something that goes with waking up. You know what I'm saying? When you wake up in the morning and they turn the lights on, you get a little bit riled up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, but it's all in positivity at the end of the day because, growth is like that. You know what I'm saying? When you come in with new information and these new information, I was just saying earlier, right? You can go rewind it. I was saying, man, we haven't invented nothing yet or came with some knowledge yet, and now this brother come up. With the I never heard that information. What you were saying about the with the guy name?
Tomahawk?
Yeah,
Breaking down the Tomahawk. You heard of the Tomahawk before, though.
Yeah, I heard of the Tomahawk. Sometimes all right, so the Tomahawk, yeah, and the cat. What's his name?
Oh, the French. Well, I went to the French cat. What's Champollion? I don't know how to pronounce it really. The French cat who wrote about the Tomahawk first, because he went to Ben al-Muluk. But the other person I was talking about that was saying about the Nephilim, that was different. That was That was, I think, the Royal Archaeological Society, but they both said the same thing. They both
Right.
went in the same temple and seen pictures of a giant white man.
Right.
And his name
Right.
matches the name of a group of people in the Bible.
Right. See, this is an adventure. This is what I'm talking about. Don't block the stream of knowledge that's coming. The streams of knowledge that's coming down is great for our people, regardless. It's great because look, things are changing, and yeah, certain things could make you uncomfortable at first, but then you start to adjust and say, "Man, wow, oh, I am somebody." Somebody told you was nothing all your life, and then all of a
Exactly.
sudden you found out you were kings.
Yeah, you find out, oh, you've been living in bizarre world the whole time.
So you
They
gotta
told
change
me
that.
I was the off-brand.
Yeah, exactly. And so you start to see yourself in that altered state, and you start to see, okay, wow, now you coming back up to who you are.
Yeah.
And then once you into that, then they make movies about it all the time. All you gotta do is watch certain movies. You know what I mean? They show you about Batman or some of the superheroes.
And it's something about that too. But look, hey, it's another third source. Anak, blonde hair, the temple of Abu Simbel, the royal tombs of Biban al Mulakat and Karnak, and the tomb of Women Ptah, all display of images of giant blonde men with white skin. They tell us of a son of Anak named Talmiah, who's mentioned in Numbers 13:22. That's from the beast who once was. So they didn't see in these
Is that
temples.
a movie? Is it
No, that's a book. But the beast who once was. But they seen in these temples that the Tamahu is connected to the Anak or the Anakim, which is the giants that they seen in the Promised Land. In fact, they done saw some other stuff where they was in Egypt at one point and they got ran out, and they got ran out into Canaan, and the children of Israel came across them and was supposed to kill them off, and they got scared to fight them because they were so tall, and that's why they had to wander the wilderness for 40 years. Remember they said the sons of Anak was there. Anak. A-N-A-K, and they call them the Anakim. And a lot of people try to connect them with the Anunnaki or the Babylonian area too, because those is also some type of Nephilim, celestial hybrids, and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of times people try to make that same connection.
Are
It
the
could
same?
be the same.
Yeah.
It very well could be.
Caleb, right? Or something like that. I heard something.
No, Caleb he was down with Joshua. He was the one who was down to go fight him.
Yeah.
He was only Caleb and Joshua was down.
They were spies.
Yeah, everybody else was scared.
They were spies. They went down there first, peeped the land out,
Right.
came back.
And the 10 gave back the bad report.
Right.
And the 2, Joshua and Caleb, gave the good report. They said, the Lord said we could get it, we can get it.
Right.
The other 10 was like, nah, we seen the children of Anak there. They eat people, and they tall, they like grasshoppers.
Right. I think the natives were saying something like that. They saw that.
No, the Israelites, when they left Egypt and they went into Canaan, they seen them there.
Was 6 fingers. They said
Some of them had 6 fingers. One of Goliath's brothers even had 6 fingers and 6 toes. Because Goliath wasn't the only one. It was David's men killed Goliath's 3 brothers. And they was all, you know what I'm saying? And they wasn't even giants. They were sons of a giant. And Goliath was like 9'9" according to the cubit. So that wasn't even a giant. That was the son of a giant. So how big was his daddy if he was 9'9" and he was only half giant? It's like, whoa.
Right. Man, that's crazy. Because they like in the Native Americans, they
got stories of them too. I'm gonna send you the Native American story on the giants, and it matches too. Look, Native American.
Yeah, you can go into that, pull that up, because they said they saw this thing like how. They said that they wanted to see
How many fingers they had. How is to make sure you're not a 6-finger Nephilim. Because they said they showing their hand.
Right.
Yeah, that's real.
So
Look,
It was in the
race,
nature too.
ancient race of white giants described by Native Americans. I'm gonna send it to you right now.
So wait, when they said how,
Yeah.
they would they put their hand up.
Yeah.
So when they said how, they were proving
That's Hollywood, but then the real way is
that there was 5 fingers.
Yeah.
That's when they said how.
Because certain giants or Nephilim tribes, even the ones, they still got people right now on Earth, regular sized humans, that
With
pop
6
up with
fingers?
six fingers.
Yeah.
But it was people back in the days with 24 digits. They had 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes, so they had 24 digits. And one of them is recorded in the Bible.
Count
Hey, check out what I just sent you.
count it.
That's
My man.
crazy.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Hey, but you know
Six.
the 24 digit You know how the 24 hours of the
7, 8,
day
9, 10, 11.
and the do you know about the Babylonian way of counting with the numbers with 6 and 60 and all that? How the Babylonians is the reason everybody basing their minutes on 60 seconds,
Right.
And they hours on 60 minutes. They was based on 6 and 60s and stuff like that. I don't know. That has something to do with they was over there messing with them other fingers counting dudes or whatever. But yeah, so all of our time is based on Babylonian timekeeping, where they're the ones that came up with the 60-second minute and the 60-minute hour. That goes back to ancient Babylon. They stuff went in cycles of 6 and 60 and the trip. The Mark of the Beast, Mystery Babylon is 666.
And then 365 days in a year? Is that the real number?
Well, according to Enoch and a lot of ancient sources, it's 364.
364.
Yeah, because that's dividable by 7.
Right. Wow.
But really, it's like 360 something, and it's like I guess at some point maybe the Earth had a perfect symmetrical orbit, but I think with the tilt and the wobble and all that, it's off. I don't know. Maybe that's how all kind of stuff is out of line on Earth. Like before, they was like paradise. Now it's like people dying and everything real short.
Yeah, somebody said Oprah has 6 toes.
Hey, I heard a lot of people in Hollywood be having like that.
I actually know somebody with 6 toes.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people in Hollywood be having the 6 fingers and 6 toes.
But
and
it's
stuff.
not like a.
Pull
it's
it
not
up.
like how y'all think.
Hey, but pick up the 8. Oh, it's the little stub.
You know what I'm talking
It's the
about?
stub.
No, it's like connected.
That little,
right?
yeah.
It's connected. It's
With
not
a-
like you
with
got
a nail
toes,
in it.
but
They just hang off?
AD, see
Is
if
it
you can bring
soft?
up the Native American one I just
no, it's
sent you
kind of like.
on the text.
That's kind of weird.
I know what you're saying though. It's,
Yeah.
You know,
If it's just hanging there and
yeah,
it's
It's a
soft.
little,
It's
it's a little nub.
It's too. Yeah.
It ain't like a
Yes.
full
It's
finger.
not like a full thing. Yeah.
But they do got some people that got full, all the way full ones that can move and everything.
Oh man.
Yep.
I ain't never seen.
Yeah, you can Google it. It's a family in Brazil. A gang of them got it
They got the fucking.
on their feet and they feet and
wiggle
hands.
their toes and shit. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. No, you can Google. You can
hanging
Google.
there.
Hey, wait. You
Shout out
know,
to everybody coming in. Somebody said Bigfoot.
oh, hey, Bigfoot is a Nephilim. Yeah. See, what they translate as a type of, they translate as goat demon in the King James. What do they call it? Azazel. Azazel in the book of Enoch is one of the names of one of the fallen angels, and he's a name worshipped by a lot of people in the demons and stuff like that. Azazel.
Right, Azazel,
yeah.
yeah.
And so, but
They always have that L at the end, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But see the Azazel type of demon, his offspring supposed to be big, tall, giant, hairy ones. Like really, I believe personally, Bigfoot is a demon. He's a descendant of one of them giant, hairy ones. And so even the Native Americans, when they talk about Bigfoot, Sasquatch is a spirit. That's not a physical being, right? He can shapeshift, levitate, talk to you in your mind, roll up in the flying saucer, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bigfoot is a celestial. Or no, I think actually Bigfoot is one of the dead Nephilim, like the children of a celestial and a human that wanders the earth as an evil spirit. But look, see what it says? Ancient race of white giants describing native legends from many tribes. You could just go into the tribes and just read them. They all
That's
have
crazy.
stories of the exact same stuff.
That's crazy.
Then we can go to the same stories in the Bible, the same stories in Egypt, same stories in Babylon. White giant hybrids.
So Goliath was a Nephilim?
Goliath was a son of a Nephilim. So he was like a quarter.
Huh.
Wow.
Oh, read that one from the Comanches right there. Oh,
Where's Jody? There you go, Jody.
talk about Chief Rolling Thunder. He said the white man right now was pygmies. The old white people was 10 feet tall.
Andre the Giant.
Oh, 10 feet. Now, there's some really tall people still here nowadays too. Wasn't the tallest person?
NBA.
But they're not tall and powerful. The real tall ones, they got like a brain, something messing with them where they be real weak and sick. Now, except for the NBA, you got like Shaqs and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's some famous ones out there too. Manute Bol, was that?
Yeah.
He was tall. I forgot what
Yeah.
height he
They're
was.
from Africa.
Yeah, he from the tallest people. They over there in the Sudan. I think that's the Dinkas. Yeah, they like the tallest people.
And Shaq is like what? Isn't he almost 7 feet?
He is 7. Ain't he?
Yeah.
Shaq's is big, huh?
Ain't Shaq 7?
I think he close, right? Yeah, he's 7. No, I
Yeah.
think he's over 7.
He's over
right?
7, right?
Seven,
Kevin
one.
Durant. Shaq's taller than Kevin Durant.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Hey, look, That one about the Native Americans, though, right there.
Yeah.
If you look at all the descriptions of each Native American tribe, it's the same stuff.
Wow.
They're tall Native Americans.
No, the Native Americans said that it was giants here, and they used to fight with them. Go see if it got the Paiutes. Go down. The Paiutes talk about the.
Oh, there's a Navajo. Manta, Paiutes.
They all talk about redhead giant people eaters.
Yeah.
Red or blonde hair giant white. people.
Cannibals.
Yeah.
10 feet tall.
Want to say they had red hair?
Not on this paragraph.
Say a cave in Nevada.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, nah,
I thought it was incense.
It's a lady right now from the Paiutes that got like red hair, and one of her dresses that she said came from one of the red hair joints.
Jody said the whole earth has been corrupted. Yeah.
Yo, so
Yeah, somebody said Sasquatch, wild men, giants. Yeah, it used to be wild men in Europe. They got a art thing from the Moors in Europe versus the wild men, where it shows some black Moors, like dark black, with in castles and stuff, fighting giant white people with tattoos and hair all over them, and they got hood. They feet got claws like animals and stuff.
Wow. Welcome
Now,
to the jungle.
there's a lot of
You could probably Google it. If you Google Moors versus the wild men, it'll pop up. They found it in Germany. It's from the 1400s.
well, I want to bring up real quick that the fact that you can pull up lots of photos of giants.
Yeah, a lot of them is fake though. You know, trying to throw people off.
I know, but dude, there's
But-
a lot. I mean, like
Some of that stuff is real. Like they found like 3,000 giants on Catalina.
there's more proof of giants than there is dinosaur bones. Look at this.
Yeah, I think that's fake.
You think that's fake? That's crazy.
Nah, they found real ones. Like I got that book right there, Giants on Record. Go back up. Right there. I brought it last time. That book has a list of articles from the United States on. They found giants all the time, and they published it. And now it's just out of public. The mindset they've removed it, and acting like it's just a myth now. But they found them a gang of times.
Indeed. Well, this is crazy Black History Month right now.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, really, everybody is black. Everybody started black. You know what I'm saying? All God made man, Adam from the Adama. Dirt is brown, right? Adam is from the Adama. He's the color Adam, Adon from the dirt, right? So man is naturally dirt colored. The first time you see people non-dirt colored is either because they got leprosy or they're Nephilims.
Wow.
So the people that are albino are
What's
just
the guy
missing.
Well, if you go by the book of Enoch, they say Noah was an albino and they thought he was a Nephilim, and they went to check with his daddy, and his daddy thought his wife cheated on him with an angel, and then they sent them to go talk to Enoch, and Enoch was like, nah, he's like that because it's a sign, because in the days of my father, the sons of God came and had sex with women, and that's how they was born looking. So it's saying somebody born as an albino is like a sign of the Nephilim. And you still got tribes in Africa that mistake people that's born as albinos as Nephilim, because they say, oh, it's a demon, kill it, it's going to grow up to be a giant people eater, it's got magic powers, cut them up.
So is it a code in the DNA that produces more melanin?
No, it's natural for people to have melanin. It's a recessive gene to not have melanin. So it's the people who don't have the proper amount of melanin have a gene that's making them not have. So it's normal to have melanin on Earth. So the gene to not have melanin is a recessive gene. They thought evolved. Turns out it comes from Neanderthals breeding with humans. So the gene to not be melanated doesn't come from humans. So the whole time they've been hating on being melanated, that's actually some Nephilim stuff.
Really? Isn't there a correlation with having vitamin D more involved in your diet?
No, vitamin D from the sunlight.
From the sunlight, yeah.
Yeah, whereas people need a certain amount of sunlight to get their proper vitamin D. And they say the reason a lot of black people in European nations be kind of sick, where they would be stronger, is because they're not getting enough sunlight. Because the sunlight is not, or if you get the proper amount of sunlight, you get the proper amount of vitamin D, which helps fight off. That's why they even talk about like people in certain countries where it's real hot and they're dark skinned, they're not getting corona on the same level and all that. They bring it all to the vitamin D. Vitamin D helps your body in a whole bunch of different ways. So the more like people with melanin have a natural need for sunlight. The less melanin you have, the you don't need as much sun. To where it came from. Where originally from what I've looked into, the reason that certain people lived in caves and certain people came out at night is because they was gonna get sunburned.
Wow.
Yeah, but they had that gene, so they stayed in the cave because the sun would burn them. So they come out at night, and then they got the freaks come out at night.
Okay.
That's where it probably originally started.
That's interesting.
Yep.
The vampires coming out at night, all that.
vampires,
They was people
everything.
eaters, werewolves,
Yeah.
hairy men, all that stuff. That's all the same
The
stuff.
vampires die in the sun, right?
And garlic, right?
Yeah, I seen pictures of people with boils on their body from the sun.
Damn.
Could you bring that back down, 80? Can we get a clip of YouTube called God of War, Titans versus God for the chat? Yeah, let's do
Hey,
it.
somebody said Neanderthals were almost the same as modern humans. Hey, look, I seen this. I could see if I could find it. They said the average Neanderthal,
Right.
is 6 times stronger than a regular human.
Right.
Based on how they were built. So they said a Neanderthal little kid was stronger than a grown human man. They said one Neanderthal, they said they was built like bodybuilders, like the Hulk. They got short legs though. They probably was a little bit funny style with them short legs. They had barrel bodies. They probably couldn't run good or something. They had short legs and big torsos.
Man.
Short leg.
Yo, Danny, put the link in the chat because there's a lot, and I don't know which specific one you want us to
crazy.
play. There's a lot of them, so put the link in the chat. Danny Salinas, just link it up right there. You don't have to do a super chat; just pop it up there. Cause man, when I googled that, there's a bunch of them. I'm pretty sure you're trying to play a specific one.
Which one?
He wants to play God of War, Titans versus.
Oh, the game.
I guess.
No, because when the game first starts off on God of War, it's like you running on a giant. When it starts, it's like
Yeah.
you don't even know. It's like you running on. That's supposed to be Kronos though, like the father of the giants. But you know, Kronos is who everybody worshiping when they own Christmas.
Yeah. Well, Kronos is Saturn, right?
Kronos is Saturn, and Christmas is Saturnalia.
Right. And Saturn and Kronos is time.
Yeah, Father Time on New Year's Eve. That's Kronos.
Yeah.
The old man standing with the baby. Yeah, he's a baby
And
eater.
Saturn is the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. And Sauron, and the Saturn is the 6-point star, all that kind of stuff.
And that's why Saturn or Satan rules this world because we are ruled by time.
I ain't looked at that, but it is a connection with Saturn. And do you know?
Yeah.
Oh, Saturn is the father of Jupiter. Jupiter is Zeus. Kronos is the father of Zeus. Molech is the father of Baal. They're probably all the same.
You got it. You got the knowledge, man. That's
Yeah.
crazy. It's also, but if you look at the Nike symbol, that's a Saturn ring. Like you see Saturn all over, like Saturn worship all over, like corporate stuff.
You
You'll
do,
see- you know
yep.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's all over stuff. They're super into Saturn
But-
worship, but it's real ancient.
Yeah, the Nike
Yep.
check mark is actually a Saturn ring. You're just looking at the missing ball.
But see how the world got everybody thrown off doing this Christmas stuff. So basically, they're keeping God from coming back because everybody's been trained to practice a gang of crazy pagan traditions. Like right now, everybody, every year, all throughout the year, the whole world, especially Western world, is going crazy. Right now, Valentine's Day. That's Lupercalia.
Yeah, that was a killer.
That's a Roman pagan holiday about the foundation of Rome, about the Romulus and Remus sucking milk from the wolf mama and all kind of crazy
Yeah,
stuff. And
and-
then you could beat up chicks and slap blood on them
Yeah,
and whip
didn't
them
they
around
cut
town
out-
and make them fall in love with you or something.
They would cut the heart out in that shape, and that's why the heart is shaped like that. Because
It's
that's how they
all
would cut
kind
it.
of crazy traditions.
Yeah.
But that's
I'll be right back.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, man. Valentine's Day. That's a weird time of the
Valentine's
year.
Day is some wickedness.
It is.
Yeah, cutting out hearts and shit.
Yeah, it's a weird time to have
Hearts
Valentine's
ain't
Day
shaped
because, like,
that.
Yeah, heart ain't shaped like that.
Yeah.
Hey, but the whole Western culture is like caught up in teaching everybody to be pagans, talking about, oh, but we want Jesus to come back. If you want Jesus to come back, start obeying what it says in the Bible.
I noticed you do recognize the Sabbath day because when I kicked it at your house that one time, you weren't working. You were like, it's Sabbath day. I ain't working at all. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, we was in the
"Yo."
backyard.
Yeah, because I'm always doing shit every single day, and it feels good to now like take a day off.
Man, God rested on the seventh
Yeah.
day, and He blessed it.
Yeah, so Saturday.
Yep.
Okay.
Sundown Friday to sundown Saturday, because
Sundown
according
Friday.
to the scriptures, the day is over at sunset, and the next day starts. Days start at night.
Because I remember there was always a controversy about when the Sabbath was, whether it was Saturday or Sunday, because Sunday being worship of the sun was
Yeah,
that
that's
the Sabbath
that's from Emperor Constantine and the Pope.
okay.
There was never no confusion
Okay.
about the Sabbath being Sunday, because Sunday is the first day of the week.
Okay.
Like you can read the ancient Romans; they talk about on the day of Saturn,
Yeah.
they would attack the Jews because the Jews refuse to work and they won't be defending the city. And it's like Romans have recorded it. It's Romans' account of them attacking Jerusalem. I think even they took the temple in 70 A.D. On the Sabbath because they said, "Oh, this day we don't even attack them on any other day except for
Yeah.
the day they refuse to work." So the Romans, once the Romans figured out the Sabbath, but I think maybe they was going too far with the Sabbath, or they should have listened to the Messiah and already left Jerusalem. But if it come down to it, on the Sabbath we under attack, I'm going to battle. I can't just let you whoop my butt and conquer me because it's the Sabbath.
Yeah.
That's like going too far. Like Jesus said, man, the Mashiach, Yeshua, he said it's lawful to do good on the Sabbath. They said he was doing wrong for healing somebody on the Sabbath. Right. And it was like, man, if your donkey fall in the ditch on the Sabbath, you gonna pull him out?
Yeah.
Shoot, why ain't I give this girl a miracle on the Sabbath who's been hurt for 12 years?
Yeah, what do you consider work at that point?
People be on one, bro. It's at a certain point. Is people going if they're gonna be antagonistic with the Word of God made flesh, healing somebody who's been sick for 12 years on the Sabbath? Of course they're gonna have some words to say to me when I'm starting to try to spread the truth or say anything. That's why I'm like, I don't even need to hear all the people talk back type stuff because they talk back to Jesus.
Yeah.
And he's the Word of God made flesh who created the universe.
Yeah.
So if they looked at him and was like, why are you doing this day and da-da-da-da-da, then I let you know, the servant isn't greater than the master. If they did that to him, they're going to do that to me. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? So he said, be ready for it. But that's just the way people are. Even if the Messiah himself is healing people and making people's bodies whole who've been sick for over a decade, somebody going to sit back and be like, hey, why you doing that? I hate to say it, but my people got that stuff the worst. Ooh, they hate to see when somebody do something. Yeah, it's called haters,
Yeah.
But it's like, dang.
I mean, Saturday and Sunday you don't supposed to work, and then Monday through Friday.
Nah, you can work Sunday. That's a work day. That's the first day of the week. Get busy and get that money. Shoot, even Saturday night you could work, but not sundown Friday to sundown Saturday. Because if God ceased from his work, and God don't get tired, he was being an example. A good leader leads by example. He's like, I ain't tired, but I want people who follow me to go by my example. So I'm going to stop and rest today for them. Because like the Messiah said, the Sabbath was made for man. God wasn't tired when he rested on the Sabbath. He can't get tired. But he was setting a precedence. He was establishing an order of things. You know what I'm saying? And by him being a good leader, he was doing it himself.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Priest. What we doing now? Oh wait, did he put the link up there yet?
Which one?
I'm looking for. We're trying to follow up on that super chat. I'm gonna go back up here. Okay, Danny Salinas. Let's see if he.
Man, do you believe in the retrograde and all that?
What's that?
You don't know?
No.
The retrograde, we supposed to be in retrograde. I'll let AD explain it. That's when Mercury's spinning the opposite direction. It appears to be. But everything's off. You know what I mean? So everything, like left is right, up is down. You know what I'm saying?
Well, shoot, that's the whole state of everything right now. We living in bizarre reality.
Yeah, exactly.
Up is down, down is up. It's been like that because
stop at a green light and go at red.
The more, I think that's right. But the more you come into the truth, I ain't trying to get no tickets. Hey, no, but the more you come into the truth, the more you see, dang, the world is really upside down. But it says that the whole everything has been flipped. The whole world's out of order.
Out of order.
You know what I'm saying? And like it says, the enemy, he done pulled the veil over the eyes of the world to where the most people, you know what I'm saying, the wicked one has blinded the eyes of the masses where they ain't even, most people's not even paying attention enough to even know that it's something to be paying attention to.
Right. We gotta hit some beats too. You got some beats on you?
For sure.
Yeah.
Would you say 2020 was part of a biblical prophecy?
I don't even believe in the Roman calendar, so 2020 is like irrelevant to me. I don't even believe in the year 2020.
It might be 2012 right now.
Yeah,
Well,
it's the year 5,900 and something.
Okay.
But we're 2020 on the Gregorian calendar. But even the way they start the year on New Year's and all that, it's all weird. The New Year starts in spring.
But I mean, like with the pandemic happening and all that.
I think it was because, like it says in Matthew 24, that it's going to be wars, rumors of wars, earthquakes, and pestilence in various places. If you look up that word pestilence, one of the definitions is diseases. So it's like, I think corona is a disease. And then they say it came from bats, people eating bats, you know what I'm saying, doing stuff. Like the last couple of plagues that then came, what's that big one they had in 1918 or 1917 or whatever? That came from pigs, right? Well, God said don't eat pigs right there in the book. So it's like a gang of this stuff is coming against people, and it starts with people doing stuff that God says not to do. So I pray to God to keep me safe from that stuff, and I try not to do the same stuff that they doing. So I'm like, Lord, I'm not over there eating bats and pigs, so don't let it come on me.
Yeah.
Right? Then I pray my Psalms 91. You know what I'm saying? Only with my eyes I'm gonna look and see the reward of the wicked.
So,
You know what I'm saying? An arrow might fly by day, I'll see it. One might fall by 1,000 on my right side, but it won't come near me. And I pray that, believe it.
That sounds like a tattoo right there. That's dope. That's how hard to say it
Tattoos
right
is
there.
pagan though.
Yeah, pagan.
That's the
yeah.
heathens mark up their bodies with all their ritual images and stuff. Like
Right,
it said,
right,
the stuff we was reading about the
Leviticus.
Tamahu, it said they was the only ones that the Egyptians drew that had tattoos all over their body. And
Right.
it says an utter savage.
Right.
Yeah, that's some
it's
savagery.
in Leviticus, right?
Yeah, Leviticus, I think like 19, maybe 19.
Yeah, because I've already been afraid to like get tats and like
That's
get
good.
piercings and shit like that.
No, they had.
got
It depends on your piercing. I got tattoos too, but
Okay.
the last time I got a tattoo, my Samoan homie, Kepi, Chapter 11, Jeff Link, he actually was covering up my hood tattoo with some blood pouring over it,
Right.
and I felt convicted when he was doing it. Like I shouldn't
But
be doing
it's just pagan. It doesn't mean anything. It's just pagan.
It's
That's
pagan.
what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's wicked. Though. God don't want us to operate like
right,
that.
Cut up your skin.
Yeah, nah, we don't supposed to cut up the skin. We ain't supposed to even cut up our beard. You know what I'm saying? No, it says the same chapter that says don't tattoo your flesh. Says don't mar your beard. Don't mar the edges of your beard.
I'm supposed
It's
to-
a sin. It's
I'm
a sin
supposed
to
to
mar.
grow?
It's a sin to mar. What for an Israelite? It's a sin
Okay.
to mar the edges of your beard.
I gotta grow
But
my
so-
shit out.
If you want to please
Hey,
God,
dude.
do what God.
Oh,
If you want to
man.
please God,
Hey,
do
D
what
about
God
to
told
go-
the Israelites to do.
What?
Because that's the
was-
standard.
Yeah.
That's the standard.
Yeah, AD, you gotta let your.
I got
Mine's-
a little bit going on.
Yeah.
The chin strap.
Yeah.
Yo, but what we was talking about before, what I was meaning to touch on, bro, I wanted to get on to David Reich at Harvard. The
There you go.
Ashkenazi Jew, David
Yes,
Reich.
David Reich.
He said, according to DNA, it's only one genetic signature in all recognized Jewish communities. That's E1B1A. That's not even talking about us.
Right.
Hebrews, Israelites, ancient Israelites. That's talking about in these people that's calling themselves Jews right now.
Right.
70% of them have 3 to 5% of our DNA.
Right.
So the reason they got a Jewfro and stuff like that, the reason some of them have big lips and all that, is because they have some of our blood. Right? So here, I got right here another Israeli dude. Well, David Reich isn't an Israeli. He's Ashkenazi Jew, but he's American. But this is Israeli who they dug up the ancient Israelites' bodies and DNA tested them right here.
Okay.
And it says, they compared them to modern Jews. They said the answer to the question, who is closer to the ancient Israelites, rests in the DNA extracted
Where
from
they did
some
take the
50
bodies up from?
bones. I'm gonna read
Okay,
it.
good.
It says the answer to the question, who is closer to the ancient Israelites, rests in the DNA extracted from some 50 bones of ancient Israelites and Judeans, with many more to come. So they dug them up in Israel. This is a modern Israeli. He said, are modern Jews mostly Middle Easterners or ancient Israelites, like Oster claims? Hardly. It says hardly. This is a Jew saying
crazy.
that. This is an
Yeah, it's
Ashkenazi
crazy.
saying it. He says the most similar Jews to ancient Israelites who left their dry bones in the Raqefet Valley in Israel were Yemenite and Mesopotamian Jews, but that genetic similarity was less than 15% on average. In agreement with our previous analysis ascribing less than 5% ancient Levantine ancestry to Ashkenazi Jews, 2017. It says, interestingly, the Y-DNA chromosome haplotypes of ancient Israelites are typically E1B1 and T1 haplotypes commonly found today in Africa, with lower frequencies in the Middle East and Europe. This is an Ashkenazi Jewish geneticist saying this. We can expect that future tests covering other regions of the world will be able to explain the remaining portion of the elusive Jewish ancestry. Only time will tell if genetic Jewishness will evolve into primeval Jewishness, where people define their Jewishness based on their similarity to ancient Israelites and Jews rather than modern ones. Think about that next time your favorite genetic testing company tells you you have some Ashkenazi Jewish ancestry. This is by an Ashkenazi Jew, by Dr. Aaron Elhake. But he said right here, he said they have less than 5%. Now, the other dude, David Wright, he did a test on Jewish populations, and he goes into, it says, we also detect 3 to 5% sub-Saharan ancestry in all 8 of the diverse Jewish populations that we analyze. For Jewish admixture, we obtain an average estimate date of 72 generations. This may reflect descent of these groups from a common ancestral population that already has some African ancestry prior to the Jewish diasporas. So this is in journals. This is like a scientific published journal. So they're saying they only find on average 3 to 5% ancient Israelite DNA in modern Ashkenazi Jews. And they said that DNA is E1B1, but they don't say which E1B1. But this other Jewish scientist says right here, they got 3 to 5% sub-Saharan ancestry. Now, we know Ashkenazis never lived in sub-Saharan Africa, right? Mm-hmm. So they got 3 to 5% of that from somewhere else that when they encountered Israel. So that's saying right here, the 3 to 5% of the DNA they have of ancient Israel, it's sub-Saharan African. It's the same DNA. It's E1B1A.
Man.
So that makes E1B1A the ancient DNA of Israel.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, that's crazy. It makes some noise, man. I had a song, E1B1A. Gotta make a song like
Look.
E1B1.
And then look, this is from a whole nother scientific source. EP2, also known as E1B1, is a human Y chromosome DNA haplogroup. This paternal clade had an ancient presence in the Middle East and is now primarily distributed in Africa, with lower frequencies in the Middle East and Europe. Y chromosome E haplogroups, their distribution and implication to the origin of Afro-Asiatic languages and pastoralism. Semitic is Afro-Asiatic. If you look up Semitic, it would be like a group of Afro-Asiatic languages. And then if you look up Afro and see what that means. This is what I do when people be debating me sometimes. Wow. I say, okay, it said, like right here, it said Afro-Asiatic. Okay, let's look up Semitic. Semitic, a subfamily of Afro-Asiatic languages. Okay, now let's look up Afro prefix, or what, we see, I got it. Afro, a combining form of Africa, Afro-American, Afro-Asiatic, Afro-Latino, Afro-Caribbean. So how is the Afro-Asiatics somebody different than the African-Americans? Afro-Latino and Afro-Caribbeans is all the same kind of people. Yeah. Then they're going to tell you, oh, no, the Afro-Asiatic, no, that's Israelites. That's something. Wow. It's like, wait. His classification of what an Afro-Asiatic is lines right up with Afro-American, Afro-Latino, and Afro-Caribbean. So it's right there in the name.
That's
so
crazy.
I'm like, wait, how you Semitic and you're not Afro-Asiatic? Where your Afro?
Right, it's just crazy.
I'll be like, where your Afro? I ain't got no Afro.
Wow, that's crazy.
Got that Afro mixed out or something if they got that E1B1A, but most of the time they're not E1B1A.
That's crazy. Nagas, yeah. Niggas. That's like some Amharic word for like royalty, right? Yeah.
Leader, ruler, isn't that mean like ruler?
Like ruler, yep. Amharic, Master K.
Yeah. Hey, I could show you niggas in the Bible right now though. If you look at Acts 13, it's in the Bible.
Pull it up.
Acts 13. Or really is nigger. Or nigger. Nigger is in the Bible.
Acts 13.
Yep, Acts 13.
And 1.
Yep. Nah, don't go to the NIV. Switch up to the New King James or something. NIV is like the worst version of the Bible.
So they all went...
At verse 1, it says, now in the church that was at Antioch, there were certain prophets and teachers. Barnabas, Simeon, who was called Niger, Lucius of Cyrene, Manaen, who had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch, and Saul. So these is prophets and teachers. These are Israelites too, because they wasn't even really going out and shit. And it says
Paris One was breaking that down too.
if you look up, and if you look up the word, it says pronounced. Let's see how it says.
Strong's G 3526. Nigger.
Nigger. What does it mean? Nigger,
Oh, my
black,
niggas,
surname
yeah.
of the prophet Simeon.
That's cold.
Nigger, of
Everybody
Latin
at home.
origin, black, Nigger, a Christian, Nigger.
That's cold.
Surname of the prophet Simeon.
That's cold right there. Wow. Yo, that's crazy.
Should we play what dude wanted us to play for
The God of War.
Yeah, K Brex. That's a term for the person from the Niger region.
Atlas! You must trust me!
Got him?
Much has passed since we last met!
Why would I never trust a servant of Zeus?
Because I seek to destroy Zeus!
Kratos, still the arrogant and foolish warrior. You have not changed. And how do you plan to defeat the king of the gods?
By taking the blade of Olympus back and driving it into Zeus's heart! It holds the power I once wielded as the god of war!
The blade of Olympus. I have not heard that name in many years. Since the end of the Great War. Bloodlust and power raged within Zeus. His desire to rule over mortals was intolerable to us. The war between the Titans and the Olympians forged the landscape of the mortal world. It was a war that we knew the Titans must win. If we lost, it would mean an end to the golden age of the Titan rule. Peace and prosperity for mankind would be no more.
No, it's just like I just hear the music. I can't hear nothing outside the headphones. Danny Salinas. Yeah. Definitely. Danny Salinas, always coming through. Chi-Town. You always coming with a dope video. That was crazy. You said, priest get polite on board. I would love that. You know what I'm saying? That's another Leo brother out there, right? Get him on board. I met him a couple of times, but this is crazy. Triple JC said the Nephilim. I don't know. It's been crazy, man. The vibe, this whole thing. Yeah. Come on up. Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna go into some music and stuff. How long we been rocking so far?
About 2.5 hours.
2.5. Yeah, we want to close this thing down. I wanted to play some stuff. I want to hear some music, man. Okay, yeah, definitely.
DNA of the Canaanites to show how the ancient Canaanites was black, but how they modern descendants
Yeah.
now with the exact same DNA,
Yeah.
not black no more.
The Canaanites. It's switched up. They're
It's
not
not us. But I
Right.
just want to show.
They're not black.
It's like showing E1B1A us.
Yeah,
Now I
yeah.
want to show Canaanites and show an example because that's who they tried to say we was for
Right,
a long time.
right. In the land of Canaan, because they
And
went
I'm
down
showing
the
that Ben Affleck is a Canaanite.
Ben Affleck is a Canaanite. That's hard. That's hard. All right.
Okay, so
So, what you been working on, lady?
Oh man, I'm in the lab with Crooked Eye right now.
Ah,
Doing some
shout out to
stuff with King-
Crooked.
Oh
Yeah.
that's the big bro, God brother.
Yeah.
And then of course the shoes, that's his little bros. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm doing some stuff with a bunch of R&B artists, man. Shout out to Rod Lights, my homeboys. We working, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to
man.
get them placements. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Hopefully
man.
you too, bro. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
definitely. Yeah, man, we got to kick it. Yeah,
Mhm.
we gotta kick
Most
it.
definitely. Get it
Working
in.
some new stuff.
Yes, sir.
Man, I definitely would be an honor to get some of your beats, man.
Oh man, it'd be an honor just to
you,
for us to
you
get in the
got, you
studio
gotta
with
hear
you.
some of the latest stuff he's doing too, man. It's,
Yeah.
you're gonna like it.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm already knowing. We'll get it in.
Yeah,
Sure.
indeed.
Yeah.
You got something we can play?
Yeah, man. I can get the laptop out the car. But that's
Nah,
that's
that's
a
been taking
mission.
long. Yeah. We're gonna let well, yeah.
He just got attacked too, right?
Yeah.
No, he just hopped at you.
information. Drop it on us.
Yeah,
Drop it.
my cat got possessed by something. I don't know what it is. It could be his food. He don't eat pork though.
Hey, even animals be having personalities though.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I done had, you know what I'm saying, one animal act like this, another animal act like that. I didn't teach them that. That's just
Yeah.
how they is.
Yeah, that
It
cat
came
is
with it.
crazy. Yeah. Mojito's nuts. He jumped up on you. He jumped on everybody that come here,
Bro, he gave me right over that couch right there, man. I was just chilling and
and he just came up there and crushed
I
him.
got assaulted.
Yeah, Mojito. Yo, all right. So let's break it down, man. Hit me in the head. What you gonna bring out?
Oh, I want to send it to the brother so he could also put it up on there. On the
Yeah, send it to AD.
Let's go.
This from National Geographic. This is the ancient Canaanites they dug up and tested. In
Okay.
fact, I'm gonna send you two. I'm gonna send you one from National Geographic and one from LA
Go ahead
Times.
and try to email those again. Can you email them at all, or it's just easier to text?
I mean, I tried to email you that stuff before and it said it didn't go
Yeah,
through.
that
So.
was just that first link. I think the other ones will work. But
Let me see.
I just think that one first link was what wasn't working.
You want me
What's
to
the
ask
email
you?
again? Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Negs?
It's just faster for me.
I think you mean niggas. I think we just went through that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nate the God.
That was dope.
I asked him, yeah, NEGS.
Nigga,
Yeah, that's dope. NEGS. I think he's spelling it wrong. I think it's Negus again. Yeah, so what you been up to, AD?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh man, just doing this thing. You know how it is. We're just trying to rock it up in here.
Since the last time we was up here.
Since last time I've been mastering your music, man. Priest has so many jams I've been working
Man.
on, man. Just like mixing and mastering big sounds too.
Yeah.
Like big beats, big epic sounding like, oh, I'm not gonna give it away. Just
Man,
like
we gotta have a session too,
Epic.
because the ones that he
Oh,
wanted,
man.
I don't want to like the ones I just like sent to you.
Yeah.
I just tried to cut off that other stuff, and it didn't work. It didn't sound the same. I know he heard them sounding big with them, but it had the Dragon Ball Z and all that in them. But
yeah, it's starting to
I would
sound like
definitely
this
let it hear
this
him.
God of War type shit because it's very epic. It's starting to get really cinematic. So I'm over here mixing strings and making sure that these it sounds big first, and then I listen to Priest vocals and make that shit like sound bassy,
fire.
good, solid.
Man.
I use mad compression.
Okay.
And then I do the mastering. I do a little sonic maximization. I do the multi-level band compression.
Multi-band compression.
And then I do the stereo expansion.
Oh
Because a
man.
lot of times the samples are just kind of like flat. But I do some stereo expansion on that shit, make it wide,
Oh, we gotta work, bro. We should get in.
put them right in the
We
center.
should get it in.
Yeah,
I'll
jump
show
on
you.
that.
We could do that.
Because he comes up with the
And you
samples.
said, what's that?
He's the one that sends it to me and is like,
dude in
hey,
the
this is what I'm
UK?
doing. I'm like,
Yeah.
I take that sample and
He
just...
called it rinse the
Really?
sink, but
Oh, okay.
So I got a system.
Sometimes it's mono. So I got to create a stereo effect with like a delay, like a really quick delay on left speaker, right speaker. Mm-hmm. And I turn something mono
yeah,
into
shout out to
stereo.
Rinse the Sink, Alternative Blueprint, Lawrence, the homie over there in the UK, getting it in. Man, oh yeah, shout out to Big Bamboo and JC kicking it in the garage before I roll it over. JC, one of my eyewitnesses, one of the rare times ever that somebody would just be like, straight up tell you some stuff. Like,
I love it. I love it. Why he's looking for that? Did you get that that image? That image? Because I was gonna play something tonight.
Okay.
They can up in the morning.
You want me to put that in the background?
Huh?
And play a song or something?
From which one?
I mean, I'm asking you.
I know I gotta think.
bump some of that Killah Priest.
Yes, please.
Hey, you know, a bunch of I'm in a bunch of the Israelite like groups on Facebook where we all get together and study. Be a gang of people.
Yeah.
A few of the people up on there be like, man, Killah Priest, my favorite rapper. He came out putting that Israel stuff out in the 90s ahead of everybody. Woo,
thanks,
bro. Hey, a lot of people look to you like, man, you know, because you know, only a few artists were saying certain stuff. You know, you, KRS-One, a couple different people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Back then, man, and that's crazy how, you know, it just came out of nowhere on the Jizza album. It wasn't even your album. It was just like you on the Jizza album kicking like the Bible, basic instructions.
Before leaving Earth. Yeah, that's peace, man. Thanks, man.
You want to play Ghost of Hammurabi, or you want to do
Ghost of Hammurabi?
King Anu? Rod Sagan?
Ghost of Hammurabi,
I don't want to leak these titles out, but
you just did. Ghost of Hammurabi? Which one do you think?
They all fire, man. It's up to you.
Yeah, Ghost of Hammurabi, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Y'all getting the
But
debut.
you gotta show them the owl, though. You gotta show that picture. I sent it to your email.
We just got a subscription. Okay.
Hey, lightsaber. How you know about lightsaber, man? What? That must be somebody from the UK.
No, they probably tripping off my lightsaber shirt. This the Yoda shirt.
Yeah. Do not try. Yeah, exactly. That's dope.
Yoda said you can't try. He said do or do not.
That's dope.
There is no try.
That's dope.
Okay. So you want me to put that in the background?
Well, it's Black History Month. Should we play The Resistance?
Okay. So you want to play the Resistance then? With what? What's the background you want me to play?
Huh?
What image?
I sent you the owl. Let me see. I don't know. I'll get confused, man. I'm throwing them.
Yeah. Let's just play the song.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Don't show an image.
Yeah, go ahead. Just show that one at the top, the purple. Yeah.
Okay. Show this to what song?
What? Ghost of Hammurabi. Like this. I like the intro.
Okay. Y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
Look it out anyway.
Oh, go ahead and put your headphones on so y'all can hear it. Go ahead and introduce the track.
Hit that
please.
super track too, yo. You gonna hit them with the exclusive.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, yo. This right here is called Ghost of Hammurabi. Brand new. KP on the low.
Man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Alone at the edge of a universe humming a tune with sparkling crystal souls aglow. A part of thee in the key of what we know to be every part without me knows only two can make it light. You'll live forever tonight.
Master of the ceremony, cerebellum cherub era, Egyptian wing scarab, the king of terror, the god seen in my mirror. I sit between the Tigris and the Euphrates River. It's the timing and the writing that made me a killer. The name priest came from the technique, from using scripture over fresh beats that you can picture like the Aquarius, boiling 120 Celsius to pour all over the areas. While walking, my feet transform into chariots. The pumas leaped off, pulling me into the fullest MC. Fast as a bullet, the last of Brooklyn. The bulletin reads, the best of the last. How you gonna school the upper class? As soon as my pen touched the pad, y'all rappers gonna suffer bad. Out of touch cause y'all want the bag. Just look me up, it's King Tut in the mask, holding a golden asp. I rose whenever asked to reclaim my identity and stolen past, from frozen to molten to gas.
Alone at the edge of a universe, humming a tune.
Man.
Really dreaming we were snow. A siren sounds.
Oh, they got the fire.
Promises endless apologies of paradise. And only
Chris, you crazy, man. When we getting in the lab?
Oh man, as soon as possible, bro.
Man.
Here we go.
We got to. And we got Jim Get 'em too?
Man. Hell yeah, let's get
Water
it.
reflects everything, and we're made up of water, so I'm mirroring our universe, putting everything into this verse. Commanding every king come out the dirt, commanding every queen come out the church. Let freedom ring, 532 megahertz, vibrating up to 33 vertebrates to see the celestial bodies to escape.
we'll go together in flight.
In panoramic, I scan the planet. Blue Louise, red granite, a true MC, mathematics. I said the classics, spread the masses, proved to be great on plastic. It used
No
to be
doubt.
engraved in tablets. Unity made my fabric. Ghost Hammurabi.
That's it.
That's just crazy, bro.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Hey, when we in the lab?
Yeah.
When we in the lab?
Whenever you ready. Whenever you
Nah.
ready, man.
Like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, let's just make it happen, brother. Oh, man. Oh, man, I got fire all over. Oh, that's
Ooh.
love right there. That's love. That's definitely love. Man, yo.
Next level.
Yeah, that's a...
That wasn't even one of the darker ones, man. The dark ones are fucking. But I don't know if you want to leak that out yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Sooner or later, brother. Sooner they gotta come.
You got some dark shit from like that's reminiscent of the old horrorcore you used to put out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, what was that group? It was with Grave Diggers. Grave Diggers.
Yeah. You got some crazy stuff. Yes. Some dark stuff. I don't even know what...
You bring the balance. You have light stuff, and then you got some
Yeah.
dark stuff.
Yeah.
It's like yin
dark.
yang,
Yeah,
man.
When I get my money, I want to do a rap video where it's like The Walking Dead, where I'm rapping and zombies
That's
trying
hard.
to eat me.
That's
and I'm
hard.
running.
That's
but
hard.
hey, every time they think they finna eat me, though,
Yeah.
I'm busting rhymes and they come alive.
That's crazy. Oh, wow.
That's
so the
crazy.
Walking
And then
Dead,
the crowd, and then
you
the
bring
crowd
back the
get
dead.
bigger.
Yeah, you bring the... Oh, that's crazy right there. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
love. That's beautiful, yo. That's beautiful. And then...
I dreamed that.
You did?
Yeah, I dreamed it, but I was like, "That's a music video, bro."
Yeah.
Like, but it's
Wow.
like a life mission too. I think zombies, like in Walking Dead, is like a metaphor,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not having the spirit of life in you.
Gotcha,
You know,
bro.
I done been there before in life.
Cause if you
Walking
dead,
Dead,
exactly.
because you don't know who you are. You don't know who the Most High is. You just
Yeah.
like, you
Play
know,
up.
walking, consuming, trying to just eat money.
Right. Yo, play what's the name for him? Yeah, you got me.
Which one?
Play
Lorango, people of Lorango, Kingdom of
Ooh,
I
that's
Am.
too long. We have to cut that.
Yeah.
Huh?
What was the big dark one?
Oh shit. Rod Sagan?
Okay, yeah. Want to do that? I'll do part of it, and you tell me when to cut it off.
Well, that's my joint. I don't even want to play with that one. That's my joint.
One of these.
Nah,
going
don't let them hear it yet. Then
Yeah, that's my joint, man.
Fire
You can let
in this folder.
Thanks, man. Just let me what I'm thinking of. Dang.
Sun.
No, which one what I played earlier? Not Son.
I am.
I forgot the name of it, yo.
Why?
My own song. Huh?
Sacred.
hey, what up? What up, everybody? Everybody tuned in from the Facebook study groups and stuff that I posted it on. What's up, everybody, man? Shalom, peace.
That's what's up.
What's up with all my other people who get on the regular Shabbat
Okay, go ahead. Keep it with him.
when we chill,
BC.
get in the
What's
scriptures and
the
get our
show?
grub on. Jessica hooking up that bomb grub.
It's
What's up, Marcus? Priest said he gonna hit you up. Hey, what's up, New Birth? If you paying attention, my people from Watts, New Birth, putting out Cam. Man, finna come with some fully equipped New Birth compilation stuff too.
It's called
Lord.
No, not Lord. Lord would be dope too, though, but
That was crazy. That record was crazy.
Okay, here we go. You gotta set them up.
Yeah, I mean, you got nothing on the phone,
Man.
Oh, I got it. All right.
Exclusive hot new
All right, this one, make sure you hit the super chat. You're going to hear something brand new.
That's right.
Hit that super chat. This is a new Killer Priest joint. This one called Reflections. Let's
brand
do it.
new banger.
What is your nationality?
My nationality is Afro-American.
Oh, yeah. What is freedom?
It's for black.
Freedom is
This is
black
Black History
power.
What is
Month.
black power?
Black power is...
Are you gonna be scared of me? Are you gonna be scared of some president of the United States?
Put fire.
Mayor? Policeman?
Step in the booth for the priest confession. These are the lessons for the people questions. Deep suggestions, they keep expressing. No suppressing, nowhere the ledge is. The resurrection, sun worship, my reflection. Recollections, omnipresence, reconnections. For our purpose is to reach perfection. May the lights embrace you with soft sounds to meditate to. Turn off the cable, sharing thoughts with me is like having talks with angels. Some holy basil, silver bowl on the table. Snowy days like deja vu, cold and it's playful. With children laughter, to the here and the after. We near disaster, that's why my ears to the chapter. Can't hear the pastor, it's time to fast, but it's getting faster. Years of the rapture, so as it was in the earth beginning, in the ending there appears a seven-headed raptor. Written by John of the Isle of Patmos. How ironic, a dinosaur returned to plateau. Used to wake up on Monday broke. Read the papers for the fun.
You know the real. Hey, dinosaurs is dragons too. It's real. It's real.
Wow. Yeah, exactly.
And dinosaurs wasn't no millions of years ago. That's some dragons from back in the day.
Oh, man. Yeah, we have fun. We have a whole session like that, man.
Man,
we
that's
gotta get in the
fire.
studio. No doubt.
Got to. Hey, look. Can
man.
that keyboard get played right now?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Floyd.
Hey, Jim.
What we doing?
Uh-oh.
Hey, Jim, get him. Jim could play something like that right now off the head.
Oh, man.
Oh,
yes.
man. That's what I really want to do with you.
Hey, Jim.
Let's do it.
Hey, Jim.
Let's do it.
Hop
Let's
on the
do it.
keys real quick and show him something.
Let me set them up. You want regular piano?
Whatever you got, man.
Yeah, I know what you want. I know what you need. Here you go. Hold on. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
You do your thing.
yeah. He did get busy.
Just because I heard that piano in there, I said, "Oh, Jim don't have to play nothing. He can play something right there."
That's dope.
Put the headphones on there.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Cash rules everything around me. Yo, he just hit the thing. He didn't even, yo.
Oh,
Yeah, he killed it.
Hold on. Let me get that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that we definitely did this. Yeah. Oh, my goodness, yo.
Program some drums. Jim.
Oh, yeah. Oh, straight off top.
Yeah.
You about to bust AD? Yeah.
We listening.
Oh, shoot. Oh, we definitely doing the track, yo. Yeah, what am I? That's beautiful right there. It's like, yeah. All fire for you, bro. Yo, I'm done. I'm sold. Let's get in the studio.
Whatever, man. I'm saying.
Yo. this song done.
Yeah.
Let's get that done, yo.
I mean,
Yo, that is hard body, yo.
Very nice, brother.
Yeah,
Oh,
fire.
yeah. It's nice.
Yeah, I'm crazy inspired right now, yo.
Cool, very cool.
Yeah.
I had to come here on the headphones, you know what I'm saying?
nah, that's dope, man. You know what I'm saying?
Soaps is in the building.
Ain't nothing we can't do.
Yeah.
That's it. No, we're gonna take it to the next
As
level.
long as the
man.
bass, as long as the drums are solid,
Oh, man.
you open.
Oh, man. All them fire.
Yeah, you getting it, man. you got tears. Oh, that's beautiful right there, yo. Everybody said, yo, amazing. Yo.
Love it.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, yo. That's hard, man. Make some noise.
Very nice, very nice.
Deal with it. All right. So what's you want to still? I mean, we.
Man,
Hey, I'm on the podcast.
We might as well.
Yeah, say that for next time. Yeah, save that for next time because
What you gonna do next?
we in a good.
What you gonna do?
No, because I was going.
Next time.
I had just sent you the stuff to
Oh
go
yeah,
into.
let me just hook it up. We'll switch it up.
Next.
Oh, you wanna do it
podcast,
next
yeah.
time?
I mean, we in a. You want to do it?
Let's do it real
I mean,
quick. Let's
it's-
do it
it's
real quick.
whatever you want,
Let's
Chris.
just
This is
because
your show.
we did kind of slow down on. I was trying to get more knowledge of this stuff out today.
Yeah,
'Cause
let's
I
get
wanted
it
the
out.
next one to be on a whole different
Oh,
session.
okay. Let's get it out.
Let's
yo.
get this out then.
Yo. Was this a Wednesday night session right here, yo? Yo, you're incredible, yo.
Nah, I appreciate that.
You're incredible. Yo, we need to get in the studio. I would just rhyme to that right there. Word, that's
Hey,
crazy.
that's so easy, though.
Yeah, we get to that.
Woo fans since high school.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that's
Keep it just right there, man.
I mean, hey, this dude, this dude done took me up in the inner scope. Hey, we done been walking up in the inner scope before, you know what I'm saying? He done,
Wow.
You know,
Yeah, no doubt.
it's the bro.
Yeah, man. Pleasure to be here. You feel me?
Nah, it's all pleasure. We're Cricket Eye right now?
Yeah,
Cricket
man.
Eye,
You know
yeah,
what's dope with
yeah.
Cricket, man? I hadn't seen him in a while, man, and we was trying to go get some.
Yeah.
We linked back up. On
Yeah.
the real. Yeah, and it's been crazy. The records is coming out crazy.
That's dope. Yeah. He's lyrical, man.
Oh,
Him
man.
and Crooked Eye was signed to Death Row way
Oh,
back.
yeah. Oh, that was
after all the other stuff.
Nah, shout out to Crooked, because at the end of the day, he was the one that, seen something and really,
heard your potential.
Yeah, him and Big C Style from Long Beach.
All right,
So,
no doubt. Yeah, that's peace.
Yeah, shout out Big C Style.
Yeah, man. Families.
Somebody say,
Yeah,
no,
man,
Sue over there. Sue on his, he on his phone right there. He's smiling. He got that juice in him. That says sauce.
I mean, Kris, that's my man. Tell him, Kris. We all just out here.
Yeah, we cool. We was over here vibing, man. He reminded me of the homie already. Anyway, he's like, you remind me of the homie. I was like, dang. Then I told him about my personal stuff with my homie in Philly, like last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace, Big T-Bomb.
Man, I was gonna.
The Lamo.
You right. I should have played what's the name, man? Because that.
Hey, I see somebody E1B1A Israelites.
Yeah,
that's
You
right.
still can, priest. I mean,
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
gonna do? It's not even 3 hours yet.
E1B. Yeah, I said something like that in one of the songs.
So I seen somebody in the comments right there. They was like E1B1A Israelites. Like, yup.
Wow.
Right there. But look, I want to go into this YDNA.
How many people are? Yeah.
This YDNA-J real quick. This YDNA-J too, because they used to tell us we was Canaanites just to
Right.
show we not Canaanites.
Right.
Is this the link right here you trying to show?
Quantum hologram.
You had it up earlier, a second ago. Where'd it go? The email I sent you? Yeah. There go one. Yeah, that's one right there. Look. Look. So they can see that right here. I'm gonna read along.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Look. Let's get to the thing. Okay, Zalua Wells, 2004, under the auspices of a grant from National Geographic magazine, examined the origins of Canaanite Phoenicians. Now, the reason we going into this is because they used to tell us we descended from Ham and we was Canaanites, and this is the reason we got put in slavery, and black skin was a curse because we was cursed and all that kind of nonsense. Now we getting into who the Canaanites are, and we gonna look at who the modern Canaanites are based on the DNA, because they done dug up ancient Canaanites and DNA tested them. So the debate between Wells and Zalua was whether haplogroup J2 N172 should be identified as that of the Phoenicians or its parent, haplogroup M89, which is Y-DNA F. On the Y-DNA phylogenetic tree. Initial consensus suggests that J2 be identified with the Canaanite Phoenician population, with avenues open for future research, as well as comment that the Phoenicians were Canaanites. It was reported in the PBS description of National Geographic TV special on this study entitled Quest for the Phoenicians. The ancient DNA was included in the study as extracted from the tooth of a 25-year-old Phoenician mummy. Then they already dug up other Canaanites and tested them too. But Wells identified the haplogroup of the Canaanites as haplogroup J2, which originated in northern Mesopotamia. The National Geographic Genographic Project linked haplogroup J2 to the site of Jericho. Remember we was talking about Jericho? Because those was Canaanites.
Yeah.
J2. Tel El Sultan, CA 8500 BCE, I don't believe in that day, indicated that in modern populations, haplogroup J2 is primarily found in the Middle East, but also along the coast of North Africa and Southern Europe, and especially high distribution among present-day Jewish population, 30%. So 30% of Jews right now saying that they're Jews are actually Canaanites.
Ooh. It's crazy.
But look, I sent you another one that's talking about the same thing. The other email right after that one.
Right. Happy birthday to Duke Snoop. The show. His birthday is
that one.
His birthday is Friday. Happy birthday, Duke Soup.
And it's got the source right there on the bottom.
It's Duke Soup, the show.
And see, what's cool about this is they tested the ancient Canaanites for how much melanin they had. And watch what they say. All right, it says the Canaanites inhabited the Levant region during the Bronze Age and established a culture which became influential in the Near East and beyond. However, Canaanites, unlike most other ancient Near Easterners of this period, left few surviving textual records, and thus their origin and relationship to ancient and present-day populations remain unclear. In this study, we sequenced 5 whole genomes from 37-year-old individuals from the city of Sidon, a major Canaanite city-state on the eastern Mediterranean coast. We also sequenced the genomes of 99 individuals from present-day Lebanon to catalog modern Levantine genetic diversity. We find that a Bronze Age Canaanite-related ancestry was widespread in the region, shared among urban populations inhabiting the coast, Sidon, and inland populations, Jordan, who likely live in forming societies or were pastoral nomads. We show that present-day Lebanese derive most of their ancestry from a Canaanite-related population, which therefore implies a substantial genetic continuity in the Levant since at least the Bronze Age. In addition, we find Eurasian ancestry in the Lebanese not present in the Bronze Age, or earlier Levantines. We established this Eurasian ancestry arrived around 3,750 to 2,170 years ago during a period of successive conquest by distinct populations such as the Persians and Macedonians or Greeks. All right, and I'm gonna skip to the next period.
Crazy.
Okay, selection has continued so that the alleles for the lactose tolerance and lighter skin have changed frequency since that period. Okay, the derived allele for SLC45A2 is found at about 2/3 frequency in modern Lebanon, but was absent in these 5 Sidonians. Though the sample size is small, this was somewhat surprising and suggests that they were a swarthier people than modern Lebanese. So the ancient Lebanese they found did not have the gene for being white that the modern Lebanese have.
Crazy.
So they were black.
Dang, that's crazy.
But now they're white. And now I want to read a couple of people who have that DNA right now. So these are Sidonian Canaanites, and they're not even Lebanese. Okay. The Rothschild family, who established an international banking business, acquired the largest fortune in the modern world history and established a true dynasty in the 19th century, apparently belonged to haplogroup J2A1Y23457. Based on results from the Rothschild DNA project and the J2M172 haplogroup research. So the Rothschilds are Canaanites.
That's crazy.
Trip off of this. According to the DNA test of a relative, Hollywood actor, screenwriter, and film producer Adam Sandler belongs to haplogroup J2A1Z30390, downstream of M67 and L210. So Adam Sandler is a Canaanite. Look, the American actor and filmmaker, the American actor and filmmaker Ben Affleck, famous among others for his role in Good Will Hunting, Shakespeare in Love, Pearl Harbor, Daredevil, and Hollywoodland. His brother Casey Affleck, an actor, film director, screenwriter, and producer, were identified as members of haplogroup J2A1DM319. Through Ben's DNA test was revealed by the PBS television series Finding Your Roots. They descend from Robert Affleck, listed on J2Y DNA Project. So Ben Affleck is a Canaanite. Ben
That's
Affleck.
Crazy, yo.
Look. The U.S. politician Bernie Sanders, born in 1941, belongs to haplogroup J2A, according to the PBS television series Finding Your Roots. Sanders is the longest-serving independent in the U.S. congressional history. My bad. Bernie Sanders, a Canaanite. Yeah. Hey, look, it's a gang of Canaanites saying they ain't Israelites. Huh?
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, yo.
Hey, according to DNA, that's a Canaanite. And for them to be a Hebrew, they have to be Y-DNA E1B1. And to be an Israelite, they need to be E1B1A.
Wow.
Come on, man.
Yo, we got to play the joint for him, yo.
Yeah. So this was just to touch on some DNA stuff, because for a long time, people in America have been told that we were the descendants of Ham, and we was cursed because Ham got cursed in the Bible. First of all, Ham didn't get cursed in the Bible. Canaan got cursed. And just to trip off the Canaanites real quick, Og, the king of Bashan, was a Canaanite. But before we go back to the music, I want to read an ancient description of the Amorite Canaanites, because just to let people know, because they've been trying to say we was Canaanites this whole time. Now, they said at some point back in the days, the Canaanites was black, but the modern descendants of the Canaanites ain't blacks who got that DNA now. But look at this. One type of Canaanite called the Amorite. The Egyptologist Flinders Petrie and the Syriologist Archibald Henry Sayce analyzed ancient Egyptian illustrations of what they identified as Amorites, Amuru, depicted as white-skinned, blue-eyed, fair-haired. According to Sayce, in 1889, Amorites were a tall, handsome people, white-skinned, blue eyes, reddish hair, all the characteristics, in fact, of the white race. Egyptian illustrations of New Kingdom show Palestinian Amorites to be a race much more like Northern Europeans than Semites, with blue eyes, straight noses, and thin lips. Now trip off of this. Let me go back to some Canaanite info right here. Look, this is the history of Denmark by Soon, published in 1775. The arrival of the Canaanites in Scandinavia is recorded by Messenius and says the Canaanites, which were driven out by Joshua, came to Scandia, which they henceforth called Scandinavia. This is supposed to have happened 844 years after the flood, and Argrim Jone, the learned Icelander, insists the Canaanites driven out by Joshua were the first inhabitants of the north. Nordic Y-DNA I people? They're Canaanites.
I thought they were Africans.
Nordics come from Canaan. The Canaanites was the first one mixing with the giants. They're Y-DNA I. Listen, Sidonians are Y-DNA J. Look, Google Y-DNA chart and go to images. Okay, go to an image where they have a section Y-DNA chart.
So they changed
images.
it when they took over the land of Canaan. They
mixed. Everybody was black originally. But the Canaanites was originally black. But they mixed with the cavemen, Neanderthal, Horites, the giant Cro-Magnon, that ended up being the Northern European. Look. And so, bam, they messed around and mixed with the fallen ones and got them other looks. Bro, the Nordics are Canaanites. They look like that because of giant blood. Hey, that's why when Hitler and them was praising the Nordics and talking about the white Aryan Superman and all that, they was glorifying Nordics. They glorify the Nephilim look of the giants and stuff.
Pull up some Nephilim. Look, they
Look.
got blonde hair with the.
Look. But look, did you
Like the
Google that
magazine for
YDNA? Did you
Canaanites,
Google the YDNA chart? Because no, go down to where I wanted to where they show it all like a. Look, go to that one. Go right here. Yeah, right there. Look, if you look at YDNA-I and YDNA-J, they're that's not really a good one, but you could kind of tell YDNA and YDNA-J and YDNA-I are a branch from the same group. Like you could look up, they DNA tested some ancient people that we know come from Japhet, which are Scythians, and they DNA tested the Sumerians. They're R1A and R1B. So based on that chart,
Yes,
you could see that our area in that area would be Japhet. But the thing is, if J2A is Canaan and Nubians in the Sudan are J1, C3, that makes Nordics, Canaanites, Hamites. So the whole time, they've been trying to say we was Ham. Them giant, tall, blonde white people come from Ham.
Wow.
We come from Shem. We're Afro-Asiatic.
Wow.
YDNA E1B1. I'm E1B1A. E1B1A is the only DNA they found in the modern Jewish community that connects them to the ancient Israelites that they dug up and DNA tested. And they got 3% of that. But your average African American is like 80% of that.
Crazy, yo.
Man.
It's crazy.
So that's crazy.
Make some noise.
Because it's like the exact opposite. Like how you were saying how everything is flipped, like Bizarro World. They was telling us we was Ham. The Nordic giant tall white people was Ham. And them other Germanic YDNA Europeans are Japhet, because R1B is Gomer, because they tested the ancient like Sumerians and Gauls and all that. They're all the people who descend from Gomer are YDNA R1B. So if R1B is Japhet, R1A is Japhet. But they know R1A is Japhet because R1A is Magog. And so, but that also makes Q Japhet, which is Native American. So Native Americans are Japhet. They're not Shem. They're not Hebrews. You got to be E1B1 to be a Hebrew. Native Americans are Q. Just like I is a branch with J, proving that the Nordics are Canaanites, or at least some kind of Ham. The Q Native Americans, they're not Israelites because Q is a branch with R. And R1B is Magog, and R1A is Gomer. So Native Americans are like close related to the majority of Germanic European tribes. So that's Japhet.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that makes most Asians Japhet too, except for some of the Japanese is Semitic, and some of the Tibetans is Semitic because they YDNA.
What about dark natives?
What's that?
You know, dark-skinned natives.
Where? Here? Or you got dark-skinned people with different DNA. Everybody was black back in the days. That don't make them Israelites or Hebrews. At one point, the whole world was black.
Right. But don't they have dark natives in New Orleans? Oh, no, in Florida?
That's us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, but the typical Native American, you know, that look is like that's a Mongolian type of thing. The one that they put out, it's like almost like going when you go to any country, and they always have the indigenous people. They've dressed like Europeans a little bit, you know. How they put it out there. No, I'm talking about them Asian-looking Native Americans. The majority of the Native Americans, like on the reservation and all that, they got that Asian kind of look. They're really Asians.
Wow.
They came from Asia a long time ago, though. Wow. But they're like a lot of Asians are still Japhet. There's some Hebrew Asians, but most or Israelite or Semitic Asians, but most of the Asians are Japhet. And the white people that are in Europe right now came from Asia. That's why, like a lot of them Indians, the Aryans in India, they're white DNA, but they're still black or darker skinned. But then but they're still Aryans. Then you got them in Iran. You got Aryans. You know what I'm saying? They're YDNA-R. Aryans are YDNA-R, so that's Japhet. But you got black ones in India that's YDNA-R. And somewhere down the line, they say it's in the Caucasus Mountains where they mixed with, it was all kind of giants and Neanderthals there. Recently, they say they got some still there right now. And they had somebody from over there in the 20th century that was supposed to have been like a giant cave person. They might still have some right now. We don't know.
Man, yo, brother. You dropped it, man. Yo, make some noise, man.
Sir.
That's it.
Yeah, I just wanted to get off that part. So next time, man, we be on some other stuff. We don't have to touch on the. We don't have to touch on the DNA of the Israelites and the Canaanites.
Yeah, make some noise, man. Make some noise. Yeah, yo, that was great, yo. Kris Randall, yo, it's been a great show today, man.
Man, big love, brother. Thanks for having me back, man.
You came through. Dang. Soul over there.
Jim, bro.
Jim.
Super pleasure, man.
Yeah, brother. We gonna work.
We got to get that session in, man.
Yeah, and that beat. I remember you had the beat. You said the sound that, but it was dope. It was dope. You played some joints.
Yeah.
All right, so we can go out. We can go out with hit him in the head with one more out of here.
You trying to land the plane?
Yeah, let's land this plane, bro. Yo, thank y'all for. I mean, we didn't have no tea today. You know it's retrograde. Baby always crying. You don't want me to leave.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yo, thanks Jody. Everybody that's on there. We had some good banging information.
Yeah.
You know, the whole thing is about growth and development. At the end of the day, at the beginning, everybody always say at the end of the day. And it was a good build. You know what I'm saying? I learned some things today. It was crazy. It was beautiful. Got play some music. We all got to talk. Everybody in the place. Sewell over there got his drink. And that's it, bro. We out.
Fire.
Boom.
Trouble Man said no praise. We got to go. Got to go.
Yes. Introducing Great Son, Brooklyn Zoo, the whole 36 Chambers, Wu-Tang Clan is here forever. Killer bees and all that is in effect. Y'all better know what it is because it is what it is and it's real. Don't play with me now. I'ma let y'all know one thing. That's why.
Storms, ground wet, the boss was talking. He poured cigar to his lips, took a draw. His cheeks was puffy, Masonic green, he chuckled, knuckles crusty. They called him lucky, kinda chubby, face was ugly. The dirt between his nails had their story to tell. Many niggas led down the well in forms of hell. His son told my star, hand me your grail. Penny for your wishes, a nickel for your thoughts, reminiscing. Side with the Lord till we ride with the sword. Behind the war, eyes hot as war. The heart show the cause to revolution, rebel music. The movement is yours. Till the beast is no more and we return to the source. Ain't no more black leaders. The hood is flooded with the queen of Shebas. To the elites, we all useless eaters. Ain't no recession, they ain't trying to feed us. We keep silences on all our heaters. Waiting on 3 and 10 second Peters. Christ is my president. The Bible is my constitution. They don't need no evidence. We still sentence to execution. Keep the revolution. When J. Edgar Hoover conquered Newton. The 144 praying for their retribution. The day is nigh, the return of Yahweh Shai. And chariots gon' fill the sky when them arrows fly. Like I said, we in the eon of the Lima, man. Which one you getting on, the Zion or the FEMA train? Like a 9 to 5, been my own man ever since my damn mama died. Send my wishes to heavens, watch the angels fly. Forgive my enemy for I know they are not I.